Welcome to Eddie G. Robinson Stadium on the campus of Grambling State University, where the Tigers are getting set to play their second home game of the year. The opposition comes from the Alcorn State Braves. As they come into Grambling today for a big game, you're watching SWAC Football, presented today by Pepsi Zero Sugar. Hello, everyone. I'm Butch Alcindor along with Jorge Vargas, and what a schedule the Grambling Tigers had to start the season. 6 consecutive games on the road, out of the gate. It was incredible. Today they take on the Alcorn State Braves, who, by the way, have not won at Grambling since 2006.
And there's a reason for that. They put that visitor locker room a long way away, so it's a long hike to get to that stadium. They have plenty of steps in before they're even ready to play. Great home field advantage, and of course the environment here is great.
Yeah, great environment for football. Let's take a look now at some of the players you at home may want to keep an eye on, and we start with the visiting Braves, and that is Jarvion Howard. He's the leading rusher in the SWAC. He's a transfer from Syracuse, and Coach really loves this guy.
Yeah, he's Mr. Consistent, 122-yard average per game, 9 touchdowns on the ground, and 1 reception. So he gets in the end zone. That's the way they like it.
And for the Grambling Tigers, you know, they got several running backs that may get a bite of that apple, but we expect to see number 28, Maurice Washington, the transfer from Nebraska, getting to tote the rock a little bit.
Yeah, he's a big hitter, 9 yards a carry. When he touches the ball, they'll like to get him, and hopefully he has some big explosive plays today.
And, of course, there is head coach Hugh Jackson, formerly of the Cleveland Browns, now the head coach of the Grambling State Tigers. Of course, he comes in, you know, with a lot of that NFL pedigree to him, and he's expecting to build this program from the bottom up, has 40 freshmen on this team. He said he's got a foundation he's building from, and he expects to see some dividends down the road. And on the other side, we have Fred McNair, of course, for the Alcorn State Braves. Fred, of course, the brother of Steve McNair. They both played at Alcorn State. Fred comes in this year. His team is 3-4 overall, 2-2 in SWAC play. On the other side, the Grambling Tigers, 1-6 overall, 0-4 in SWAC play. So for Coach Hugh Jackson, this could be an opportunity to pick up his first SWAC victory.
Yeah, you mentioned off the top about how hard it is. I don't care what level you're playing. 6 on the road to start the game. That is rugged.
Coach Fred McNair there on the sidelines.
Yeah, he's not liking. He told us that he sure doesn't like traveling in here and how hard it is to get in the stadium and how the environment is tough for sure. But back to you, Jackson. Yeah. He's trying to create that environment. He wants to get off to a winning start. Didn't quite do that because you start 6 on the road. 0-4 in SWAC. So this is a really important game. Talks about making a new winning culture, changing it from the ground up. Well, it starts today. He is really, really focused on getting all the buy-in from these players and moving forward, starting to get that winning program going.
The Braves will get the football first to get this one underway. We will see Garrett Urban teeing it up in just a minute. When you look at the overall series here, Grambling leads the overall series 46-23 and 3. The first meeting was way back in 1952, and the G-Men won that one also 27-13. You mentioned the fact that it's been a while since Alcorn State has won here at Grambling. Last time they won 2006. Head coach Fred McNair has never won in this building.
You know how hungry he is for that, for sure. Yeah, and again, you know, that G means a whole lot, right? It's a signature program inside the SWAC. So whenever you can come in here and you get a win, it's something special anytime, and it certainly is today. And again, for McNair, he wants it bad.
Yeah, there's a little delay on the field as you see Garrett Urban right there getting set to get this fall game underway. It's because of the mascot. They got to put away the mascot. You know, that's the little tunnel that the players run through.
A lot of focus on getting it up, but I guess no one wanted to stay and help clean it up. That's like when you throw a party, Butch. Everybody wants to go there. No one wants to help clean up when it's over.
You know, so much tradition and so much history at Grambling. You see the G on the helmet there. At one point, they actually lost that G earlier this year. We're going to talk about that in a little bit, but we're getting set to get this one underway in Grambling, Louisiana, as we get set for the opening kickoff. SWAC football is underway at Grambling. So the kick sails deep. And the Braves bring it back. The ball is loose. Grambling had a chance to get it, and it looked like the Tigers did come up with the first break of the ball game. The fumble on the kickoff return, and it is recovered right there by number 33. That is Ken Pierre Charles. The ball just popped up in the air on the return, and Charles was right there on the spot and alertly made the recovery.
Yeah, I mean, this ball just popped out of nowhere. Didn't even get a hit, just transferring the ball from one hand to the other, and he was right there. And again, at first he almost didn't get a handle on it on the ground, but he carved it up and made sure he put it underneath him. What a great way to start for the Tigers.
Pierre Charles on the recovery. Manny Jones was the young man running the football out of the end zone there. I'm not even sure he got hit, really. It just looked like he lost possession of the ball.
Yeah, I think he was transferring. He was trying to move the ball from one arm to the other, and when he did that, it just popped right out, and then he got popped. So he was disconnected from wherever that ball was right when that happened.
So the first big break of the ball game goes to the Grambling Tigers, and that will bring on Julian Calvaz, number 4, the quarterback. Coach was raving about him. He has some big things planned for him as Calvaz takes it and pitches it out to Washington. Washington around the right side, picks up a nice block, and Washington gets a first down before he's cracked down right near the out-of-bound line.
Yeah, that tackle looked a little bit strange at the end when he went out of bounds. I thought maybe he got clipped on that on his Achilles the way he went falling out, but he went trotting back. So again, he was probably trying to avoid getting hurt.
You know what? We asked Coach Hugh Jackson to talk about Julian Calvaz. He said he's such a tremendous talent. He said he's a guy that can make all the throws on the field, and he said maybe the most important thing is the team really rallies behind this guy. So that's always an important thing as you see Calvaz walking right back there after getting some instruction from the sideline. Goes up to the line of scrimmage to call the play. This time he has 2 backs in the backfield, but a whistle blows before they could get the snap away.
Yeah, they took too much time, Butch. I mean, they just took too much time collecting themselves. And again, they may have called a timeout right before that. We'll see if they were able to get it in.
It looks like that's the case. Y.N. Myers with the call there. Timeout Grambling as the play clock was about to run out.
Yeah, and again, you get an opportunity down here, Butch. It's important for Grambling not to just get a field goal. They need to get a touchdown, set the tone of the game, come out firing, and that's exactly what Coach wants them to do for sure.
Let's take a look now at some of our impact players for this game. Some guys we think will make a big impact on the game, brought to you by Cricket.
Yeah, Aaron Allen, again, for Alcorn, of course, he's got to have a good percentage going, find a way to get some big play receivers involved, and then linebacker Terrence Ellis, he's the leading tackler. He's got to get things done for Alcorn, and we'll get back to the Grambling guys here in just a little bit.
Yeah, for Grambling, of course, Julian Calvaz, you can expect a lot from him today. He's also a good runner with the ball. He is very fast, has a lot of speed from that quarterback position. So this time he starts with an empty backfield.
No, he doesn't.
Puts a couple of men in motion, and now he has Washington in the I formation. Turns, he hands to Washington, looking for a hole, bounces it to the outside, and it's not going to get much on that. That Alcorn defense responding in a big way to that play.
Well, Washington kind of outthought himself on that play. If we see another replay of that, there was a big gap between that center and right guard. The A gap. It was wide open. There was a good lane there. He just chose to go the outside. See that gap right in there? And then he takes it to the outside. He saw the linebacker starting to fill, but really there was a good 3 to 4 yards for him to gain there.
Washington, 6'1", 190 pounds, out of Stockton, California. We mentioned on the top that he is a transfer from Nebraska. So Calvaz here on 2nd and 8. Will run with the football. I mentioned his speed just a minute ago as he dives inside the 10-yard line, marked at about the 9. So a nice carry and a nice pickup by Calvaz.
Yeah, and some good tackling, hard hitting too. And I think if you're Alcorn, I think the thing is you want to let that quarterback know, if you want to run up here, my friend, you're gonna feel it. And they put it on him right there. So big 3rd down.
13 minutes to go here in the first quarter. We're looking at 3rd and 6 for the Grambling Tigers. If you're just joining us, there was a fumble on the opening kickoff by the Braves. The Tigers recovered. Now they are knocking on the door. Puts a man in motion. Calvaz throws underneath. Has Washington. Washington trying to make a move. Great move by Washington as he dives within the 4. So he made something out of nothing right there, because that was good defense by the Braves. They just didn't make the tackle.
He's deceptively nimble. Watch him here. I mean, right now I thought he was just kind of had nothing going. That move right there, that little turn right there gave him the other 3-4 yards right there.
He's going to be a little short, and it's going to bring up 4th and about 2 yards to go for the Tigers. So we mentioned how important it was to try to get something out of this, and right now Calvez is still on the field, so the Tigers look like they're going to go for it.
Yeah, I like the call here. Early in the game, you got a chance to make something happen. You got to go and you got to just challenge your offense, get 1 yard.
4th and a long 1, and they give it to Washington. Washington bangs his way in for the touchdown, and the Grambling Tigers taking a big gamble on 4th down, and it pays off in a huge way as Maurice Washington runs it in for the touchdown. They have a 6-0 lead.
Yeah, Coach Jackson is really trying to get pride in this team and reset values, right? Well, as a coach, you reset it by saying, hey, guys, it's 1 yard. How bad do you want it, right? And his team showed him, hey, we want it bad. We're going to go in there and get it. So great job, not on this, making sure you got the touchdown on this drive after the fumble.
So Garrett Urban on for the extra point attempt. He was a preseason all-SWAC player, and he drilled it. And just like that, the Grambling Tigers break out in front 7-0 thanks to that Maurice Washington touchdown. We'll be back in just a minute. The first turnover of the game went to the Grambling Tigers, and they cashed it in for a touchdown by Maurice Washington. So the Tigers are out in front 7-0 here with 11:53 to go. Let's finish off our impact players, brought to you today by Cricket.
Yeah, Julian Calvez, again, he paid dividends right there, helping leading the team to the 7 points. And then Lewis Mathis on defense, 61 tackles for the Tigers. We're going to see him step up here. Can he lead that defense to be able to stop Alcorn on their first drive?
Yeah, we're about to see Lewis Matthews in just a minute. He's a big guy, 5'11", 220-pounder. He's a sophomore. You mentioned the leading tackler. Out of those 61 tackles, 36 of them was solo tackles. So he's a pretty active guy as Garrett Urban kicks it off for the second time early in this ball game. It carries down to the 5, and this time Manny Jones will make a fair catch. So the Braves will start 1st and 10 from their 25-yard line. It'll be their first opportunity on offense for the Braves. Before that, let's check out the keys to the game for the Alcorn State Braves, presented today by Chevy.
Yeah, now how good they do on third downs. They have to convert, keep drives moving, play physical on offense and defense, but especially defense. Can't get worn down by the running game of the Tigers, and impact plays and passing. They have got to stretch it a little bit, get enough impact plays, which helps open up that run game.
We're going to see some old-fashioned football today because both these teams can pound the rock inside and play physical. For our first look now at Aaron Allen at quarterback for the Alcorn State Braves. Coming off a big game last week. He will throw on first down, fires near the sideline, and it's incomplete. Last week, even though it was a homecoming loss for the Braves, Aaron Allen was pretty doggone good. He passed for a career-high 379 yards in that loss to Texas Southern. But there you see Jarvion Howard. We talked about him a little bit at the top. This young man can do it all. He has physical abilities that are off the charts. According to Fred McNair, he said, I love everything about this guy. And, of course, he's a transfer from Syracuse, definitely making his presence felt. He's the leading rusher in the SWAC as we come into play today. So Allen on 2nd and 10, looking to pass, under pressure, has to throw it away again. So the Alcorn State Braves opening with 2 pass plays to start the ball game.
Yeah, I like the first one, the play action first one really created some room. But right there, I'll tell you, on both those plays, the Tigers defense is getting penetration early, and that is not letting Allen, set his feet really well for a pass, because both of them have not been that accurate.
So far on the season, Allen has passed for 1,352 yards, 8 touchdowns, but he has 6 interceptions. That's something his coach wanted him to work on. 3rd and 10 now. Aaron Allen from the pocket dumps it underneath to his running back, Howard, and he's tripped up on a nice play right there by Ray Estes in the secondary, coming up to make a nice stop there.
Yeah, big number 96, Marquise Skies for the Tigers coming right up the middle. Just a three-man defensive line, and they were able to get immense pressure on him. And again, 3 times, 3 throws, 3 times he has guys, Tigers in his face. Watch right here. Big number 96 coming right at him, right when he throws that ball. Now, he was able to put it on the money right there, but it's not enough for a first down.
What a great open field tackle there by Ray Estes also. He did a good job. It's tough to bring down those backs in the open field. So the Braves tried to punt it away, and it's blocked. It is blocked. Noah Keone was the punter back there, and the Tigers got in quickly. I mentioned they got the first big break of the game. They just got the second big break of this ball game.
Yeah, I'm not sure who got there, but there were 3 Tigers, 3 yellow jerseys right by the foot of your punter. And again, how about special teams being this special? Try to look at it here. Who got the mid on it? Looks like it was Myron Stewart. Myron Stewart, number 1. Looks like he was the one that got his hand on it, at least from that view. But what a great job by the Tigers. 3 guys there, putting pressure on. Special teams truly being special, and they'll get a short field again.
That was a jailbreak, and Myron Stewart got back there first. Number 1, he got his hand up, but you're right. They had 3 Tigers right there in the vicinity. Any one of them could have blocked it, but it was Myron Stewart who made a big play. And so Grambling have their second possession in the red zone, and they come out with a weird formation here as they put men in motion there, and now they're coming back to the traditional set. But they tried to spread the Braves out early on this one. Calvez throws out near the sidelines, has his man out there, and a nice catch there, and a good completion by the Grambling Tigers as they move the ball inside right outside of the 5-yard line, excuse me.
Yeah, Lyndon Rash did a good job catching that ball and turning it up and trying to get what he could. And I like the play. It's confusing. You're moving around. Grambling State, keys of the game here. Penalty-free football. They can't have penalties that stop good drives. They have to stop the run on defense and play 4 quarters. Can't just play 1 or 2 quarters. Have to play all the way through. Second
down. They go to number 2, and he's close to the goal line. Doesn't make it. That is Chance Williams with his first carry of the ball game. Took it right down to the goal line before he is stopped. So the Tigers go back to the run. But that's their second straight possession in the red zone to start this ball game thanks to 2 turnovers. Yeah, so Grambling trying to capitalize big here. Chance Williams in the backfield. Williams gets the handoff, slips a tackle, and dives into the end zone. And it's another touchdown for the Grambling Tigers. And they're off to a quick start.
Well, you know what, the Tigers are doing really well. Let's face it, the Braves have gotten off balance. 2 special teams, big mistakes. And then once they're on their heels, the Tigers just keep pressing. Right there, the defense for the Braves wasn't even set yet. They had 2 players just barely running on, getting on side. And then you run right where there's a guy trying to fill that gap. Great job. Tigers don't wait, and they're just attacking right now.
And that's it. And if you're Fred McNair on the other side, you got to be thinking, what is going on every time I go to Grambling?
They got voodoo dolls sitting out there or something going on, messing with him.
Yeah, he said, I don't know if I like going to Louisiana. 9:56 to go in the first quarter as Garrett Urban comes on to try to tack on another extra point. His kick is up, and he drilled it. And just like that, thanks to 2 rushing touchdowns, one from Maurice Washington, the other one from Chance Williams, Grambling out in front, 14-7.
Dream, all hearts and countless volunteers on the ground. Retool your school. We're powered by purpose.
Welcome back to Eddie G. Robinson Stadium, where the Grambling Tigers have a 14-0 lead over Alcorn State, and we have 9:56 to go in the first quarter. Now, that last touchdown drive, only 16 yards after the block punt, took 3 plays before Chance Williams went in from a yard out. There you see him on the sideline there, a happy young man. Chance came into the game with 133 yards rushing so far. That was his second touchdown of the year, giving Grambling that 14-0 lead.
Tell you what, when you get opportunities, you need to score touchdowns. And so far, the Tigers are taking advantage of their opportunities. And for the Braves right now, you just got to reset, not look at the scoreboard and go at it.
So the kickoff sails down to about the 3-yard line, the 2 actually, before the Braves called for a fair catch there. That was number 5 on the fair catch for the Braves, Nico Duffy. Remember Nico Duffy from last year, pretty good running back, and that tells you right there how good Jarvion Howard has been, that Nico Duffy has had his playing time cut down a little bit. But one of the things while we were talking to Coach this week, he stressed about how he loved his running back room. He thought those guys got along great and did a great job helping each other.
And right now you're going to see a dose of running right now. They can't afford passing and having an issue.
So man in motion for Aaron Allen and the Braves. They go to the running attack straight up the middle, but the Tigers are right there to shut it down.
Yeah, Joshua Reed, the big linebacker, stuffed that hole, and some friends helping him out. There was no room whatsoever.
Joshua Reed, a 6-footer, 225 from Houston, transferred from Blinn Community College. He's one of their leaders on defense. Does a good job for the Tigers, and you saw it there. Loss of 1 on the play, so that's going to set up a 2nd down and 11 yards to go for a 1st down for the Braves. Allen on the snap, looking to pass. Has a man open. That's Juan Anthony on the slant pattern, and Anthony dives down after picking up probably half of the yardage that they need for the 1st down.
Yeah, but I like the play call, right? A nice safe play. You have your receiver come. There's plenty of room. Turns inside. Gives your quarterback a chance to get some rhythm.
3rd down, and they go to the run inside, and it should be close. Let's see what the sticks are. Jarvion Howard on the carry.
Well, they ripped the snap really quick, Butch, and tried to catch him off guard and just run for that 1st down.
1st and 10 for the Alcorn State Braves on the run by Jarvion Howard. They come back, give it to Howard again, right up the middle. Nothing fancy about that. You know, Coach McNair said we expect to see a lot of ground and pound in this game, and that's what we're seeing so far.
Yeah, Lawrence Asadu gets right up in there and causes some havoc, didn't allow him to get rolling.
So 2nd and 9, only a gain of 1 on the play there for the Braves. Aaron Allen started today at quarterback, has gone all the way. This time he's under pressure, tries to scramble away, and he lost the ball. The ball came out again as he is brought down, but alertly the Braves got right back on it. But as Aaron Allen was trying to scramble out of the pocket there, he got hit by Anderson, and the ball came out.
Yeah, Anderson just kept working, kept back to the ball, and that ball pops out. They were able to collect it back. But the Braves just having a really rough time hanging on to the ball.
Sundiata Anderson, another one of those preseason all SWAC players for the Grambling Tigers. So now we have a 3rd, and we're back to 3rd and 11 as the whistles blow. But Sundiata Anderson, he's one of those guys. He's long, he's tall. If you look at the tail of the tape on him, he goes about 6'5", 240 pounds.
Wow, he's got the measurables for sure.
So 3rd and 11 right now for Allen. Fires over the middle. That's going to be incomplete, but there is a flag down, and the Tigers may be guilty of pass interference, or at least holding in the secondary. There it is, right there.
Yeah, we'll lip sync for him. Holding. Be 1st down, Braves.
That is why in Myers making the call, and the best thing about that, as you said, Jorge, it's an automatic 1st down for the Braves. They're, you know, their 2nd 1st down of the ballgame.
Well, and the Braves just need things to settle down a bit, right? And again, it's 2 things, right? The Braves need to settle down, get some 3rd downs conversions that we talked about. And the Tigers, honestly, now's the time to just keep them off balance and don't let them get a rhythm.
Well, that was a big penalty, and we mentioned Grambling has had a problem with penalties. As we go on 1st down, Aaron Allen rolling out to his left. He's going to keep, and he slides down near midfield. But Coach Hugh Jackson did mention that. He said we have to stop shooting ourselves in the foot and making the mistakes with the penalties. That was one right there because it gave him a 1st down.
Yeah, no, but look at the middle. There's nothing in the middle. The Tigers are absolutely destroying the middle of the field. They own that on the line of scrimmage. And so going outside was a good choice.
2nd down, they go to the run to Howard, and he's running hard inside, spinning close to the 45-yard line.
Now watch, they'll pick up the pace here and run a play real quick. And again, that was a trap play that created the room.
3rd and 1. They go back to Howard, and a big hit in the backfield by Lewis Matthews. Coming up from his linebacker spot, the leading tackler for the Grambling Tigers. What a big hit that was.
Oh, we said he'd be an impact player, and right there, that was a big 3rd down and 1. And he came through and didn't let him get that 1st down. Now for the Braves, big decision. Do you go for it? Watch him come through here. Right there, he tries to turn back inside, and he says, not today, my friend.
In fact, he lost a yard on the play, make it 4th and 2 now, as Aaron Allen looks over to the sideline for a play. You have co-offensive coordinators for the Braves, Cedric Thomas and Jonathan Bradley. Coach mentioned, and now we have a timeout by the Alcorn State Braves if they want to talk about this.
I think I'd want to talk about it as well.
Well, we're still early in the ball game, but this is a key moment for Alcorn State here, because if you go for it, you don't get it. Once again, you give Grambling excellent field position.
Yeah, and I think the fact that it's 4th and 2, not 4th and 1 now, it's certainly a thinker for sure.
They have a timeout on the field, so we'll take a timeout in the booth with Grambling leading Alcorn State 14-0. We'll be back after these messages. By Cricket. Smile, you're on Cricket. And by Chevrolet. Find new roads. And as you can see, the Alcorn State Braves are going to go to punt the football away. Noah Keone is back out on the field. It's that 4th down and 2. This time he kind of goes off the side of his foot, so it's a short punt, and it's going to go out of bounds. Let's see where the officials mark it, because this is a lot shorter than I thought. When it goes near the sideline like that, it's hard to tell. That ball's going to be all the way around the 33-yard line.
Wow, that Coach McNair is certainly not happy with his special teams at all right now. Not one special teams play has been done in the way you try to do it right there. And again, there was no rush at all. The punter had plenty of time and basically just tried to get too cute with it and didn't get it far enough down the field.
Yeah, it looked like it just went off the side of his foot, which happens every once in a while. But, boy, that's a tough break for Alcorn State, because once again, but at least this is the first time, if you're coming at this from an Alcorn State perspective, this is the first time that Grambling has the ball on their side of the 50-yard line.
Right, not around your 20.
Yeah. So it's the first time we'll get to see the Braves playing defense with Grambling backed out of the red zone.
And again, it'll be important for their defense to stand up, try to get a good 3 and out, because now you've flipped the field just a little bit, and you're hopefully setting some time up for your offense. And again, really for the Braves, it's about settling into this game, and for the Tigers, they got to keep putting the pressure on.
Here come the Grambling Tigers with that weird formation again. Has a man one-on-one right down the middle. They got the isolation they were trying to get. They spread the entire field out, and they had Washington circle around, and he actually, with people to let him a little bit, they might have had a chance for a big play.
Oh, yeah, and he had the time to do so. And again, that is the strangest setup I've seen. Your guard and tackles are on the outside with your wide receivers, and you're just sitting there with a center. Boy, that is something different.
So it goes down as an incomplete pass, but it was almost an impact play for the Grambling Tigers. So the pass goes out to the outside, and is complete to J.R. Waters. A good catch by Waters. He's going to pick up about 8 from Julian Calvez for completion.
Yeah, and it was kind of looked like it was going to be a slant to the inside, but it was a back shoulder throw. And he did a great job of just kind of spinning with the throw to pick up the yards.
Actually, it was a pickup of about 5. It's going to set up a 3rd and 5 now for the Grambling Tigers.
Yeah, look at it right there. See, the ball goes to the outside, and he just spins to the outside, gets what he can. Unbalanced line again for Tigers.
So 3rd and 5 this time. The pass tried to go to his running back, circling out of the backfield. That was Chance Williams, but the pass was high. Also, good coverage on the play by the Braves. They kind of smoked that one out.
Yeah, they were not fooled. And again, I will just tell you, as coaches, when you see your team follow the reads and do what you coach all year long, that makes you happy. And that's probably, from a Braves perspective, one of the most positive plays they've had right there, because that shows you right there great coaching. Although the defense was ready for that play, and if he'd have caught the ball, he wasn't going anywhere. There was 3 or 4 Braves out there ready to tackle.
So Jimmy Isles comes on to punt the football away. He's averaging right at 40 yards a kick. Gets this one away. He's a left-footed kicker. Fair catch is called for and made at the 19-yard line by Manny Jones. So that is where the Braves will take over again. So they will get the football back with a chance to do some damage on offense.
Yeah, and again, you know, from a special teams standpoint, you could tell they don't even want them returning the ball. They just want them to catch the ball, take it where it is. They just want the ball and get that offense rolling. And again, you know, they're not pinned deep, so we'll see what happens with the Braves.
Yes, Alcorn comes into this one today 3-4 overall, but they're 2-2 in SWAC play. So, you know, right where, you know, not where Coach McNair is used to seeing his team, but still in the mix, still in a situation where they can get something done. Of course, that last week, that big homecoming loss to Texas Southern University on campus, 34-27. So they come into this game riding a 2-game losing streak. With Aaron Allen here at quarterback again. Turns, he hands to Nico Duffy this time, and Duffy is dropped in the backfield. A big play by the Grambling Tigers. Wesley Green shot out of a cannon making that play.
Yeah, look at this big fella. 6 foot, making it happen there. 300-something pounds there. Get right in the backfield. Shows quick feet, right?
He did. He did indeed. So
I wouldn't pick him to run the mile, but I'll tell you what, in a short burst, he looks good.
There was a loss of about 5 yards on that play, so make it 2nd and 15 now for the Braves. Aaron Allen, who's 4th in the SWAC in passing, will look to throw again. Has some pressure, has to step up, and he's going to be dropped again. Sacked on the play, so pressure coming in from the Tigers, and they ended up getting another sack on the play.
I mean, just with 3 men on the line of scrimmage, they are finding a way to get to them. And again, they're closing all gaps. They're not leaving a big lane. Excellent job by the Tigers.
Yeah, Javon Carter was there. I mean, a lot of Tigers were there helping out. But Brian Powell also came in from behind. So he did manage to pick up, make it 3rd and 14 now. As he looks over to the sideline, trying to get the play back in. And we have a whistle on the field right as the snap took place. And the Tigers are clapping.
Yeah, the Braves are just having a really, really tough time settling in today. So it looks like the Braves called a timeout right before the penalty, which would have been, run out the clock, play clock. So they'll take this time and try to, they are really trying to find themselves. And again, they're having a hard time in this first quarter.
Yeah, you know, all you need when you're in that situation sometimes is just to get a big play, just to get something positive going. And of course, it's not the way they wanted to start this game at Grambling, where they've had some issues before. So they're going to come out, and this is going to be a big 3rd down coming up for Alcorn State.
I'm sorry, I'm not that good a lip reader, but couldn't follow that. But as for the Braves, I think even when you talk about big plays, right, you want to throw something down the field. I think the Braves have had so many missteps right now. They're scared to try those big plays, right, to give the opportunities and hit it downfield. So, and again, big 3rd down and 13. They know if they don't get a first down here, the Tigers are going to have the ball in pretty good position.
Aaron Allen came over to Alcorn State. He was one of the portal guys. And the thing Coach Fred McNair was most impressed about him, said he learned the system in like 2 months. Very sharp guy, high football IQ as he comes out. 3rd and 13 now to continue this drive. Looking to throw it. Allen under pressure again, and he's going to be taken down in the backfield. It's Anderson again.
Yeah.
And we talked about his long ability to get back there, and he was near the quarterback.
Yeah, watch
again.
his flexibility, right? They call it, you know, you got to have flex on that outside where you can bend yourself. He just bent himself right around that tackle and just kept coming until he found Bader, which was that quarterback, and just ate him up.
Looked like Brian Powell also assisting on the tackle as the Grambling Tigers come away with another sack. And their defense playing with a lot of energy early in this ball game.
Yeah, Sunday out of 6'5", 240 pounds, North Clayton High School, College Park, Georgia.
Noah Keone Back to punt it, and he's hit in the end zone. That's going to be a flag unless they got a piece of that ball. That's going to be interesting.
Well,
Donald Johnson made the fair catch there.
Yeah, with that short of a punt, maybe he did touch it, but he certainly wiped out the punter. And that'd be of the flagrant variety, I'm guessing, if he did not touch that ball.
So Donald Johnson right there was the return man. He was the SWAC Special Teams Player of the Week 2 weeks ago, as Grambling is coming off a bye this week. So Myron Stewart was the guilty party. Number one, he was the guy who got in the backfield and made the block on the kick, on the kicker.
I'm quite surprised it's not roughing the kicker, right, Butch? I mean, it was just running into the kicker, so just the 5 yards, that's a huge difference there. And I mean, he ran into the kicker hard, so to me, that's more of a roughing the kicker. But
yeah, if we get a chance to see that again, it'd be worth taking another look, because boy, it appeared from first look like it was a lot of contact down there on the kicker, but Y.N. Myers and company didn't quite see it that way.
And Coach McNair is not really throwing too much of a fit, so maybe he's comfortable with the call as well. I don't know if comfortable is the right word. I need a different word, but now Tigers offense, can they drive the ball, right?
Have it in great field position again. It'll be around midfield this time. Calvez hands inside, and they're going to push it forward for about 5 yards. So the running game behind that big offensive line is starting to produce early in this ball game, as Floyd Chalk made his first carry of the game for the Tigers. Chalk came into this game with only 29 carries. That was number 30 for 123 yards now.
The Tigers in no hurry, very deliberate.
Well, you couldn't, if you're Hugh Jackson, you could not come up with a better script to this game as far as the way it started. He's got to be really happy about that. Calvez comes back with a screen pass, dumped it underneath, and the Braves were not fooled one bit. Big defensive play there.
Lorenzo Garcia, Andrew Smith, excuse me, with the tackle there. And again, the defense did a great job with the read. They were not fooled by that screen. Jumps right in there. Also plenty of help.
Kieran Kinsler.
Exactly.
Number 5 may have gotten there first. Did a good job tripping him up. So it sets up a big third down now for the Grambling offense. They lead 14-0 in this ball game. 2 touchdowns off of 2 turnovers. And now we have Julian Calvez looking at 3rd and 9. Has some pressure, has to scramble out to his right. Looking way downfield, and a great defensive play. I think once again, looked like it was Kinsler again. May have gotten a hand on that one.
Good job for the Braves. Seemed like he threw this ball flat and hard when he actually had some time to loft it a little bit and give him some room. He was open. He just kind of threw it in a bad spot.
Nice recovery by Kieran Kinsler there. And that's going to bring up a 4th and 9 for the Tigers. So the Braves are getting it done on defense when the Tigers aren't starting in the red zone.
That's right. And again, they're going to close out this quarter. Just 50 seconds left. Braves would like something good to happen.
Jimmy Isles with another punt. End over end it goes. He's trying to get it to bounce down there, and it goes out of bounds at like the 21, 22, 23 in that area there. So not exactly what Jimmy Isles was trying to get out of that.
Now you got both punters not necessarily shining, I guess, in this one, but yeah, I mean, didn't really the net with the Tigers. You'd probably just rather go for it at that point.
You just saw that shot of Fred McNair on the sideline. His overall record at Alcorn, 39-28. But when you talk about SWAC games, he has a 30-13 record. So that's very impressive.
Yeah.
So 1st and 10 for the Braves. Aaron Allen at quarterback turns, gives it to his big back, Jarvion Howard, and Howard gets the tough yardage. He does a good job picking up that hard-earned yardage right there as he bounced it to the outside.
Yeah, we see that play again. Blake Thomas, the defensive end on that side, of the linebacker on that outside. He has got to make sure he keeps that outside free. He turned inside and left the right side of the left side of the field wide open for the Tigers.
2nd and about 5. They go back to Howard. Howard dancing in the backfield, still on his feet. He's going to pick up a first down for the Braves. Jarvion Howard gave you just a glimpse of why he's the leading rusher in the SWAC. And that big run takes us to the end of the first quarter, a first quarter that was dominated by the Tigers, thanks to 2 turnovers led to 2 touchdowns. Tigers have a lot to celebrate, as you see right there. Washington pounding it in. And then how about Williams around the left side for another touchdown. 14-zip. G-Man, we'll be right back. Thank you for watching, everyone. Welcome back to Eddie G. Robinson Stadium, where the Grambling Tigers have a 14-0 lead over the Alcorn State Braves. And it came out, and it was all Grambling in the first quarter thanks to 2 turnovers.
Yeah, some special teams, right? Getting it done, setting them up, and now the Braves are trying to battle back.
Braves with the football now as we start the second quarter. They go back to the running game, and it's Howard again. Howard just picked up a first down as we came to the close of the first quarter, and he's finding some room inside.
Myron Stewart just flying off the edge right there. 6'1", 195 senior, Port Gibson, Mississippi.
Yeah, transfer from Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College. He's been right in the mix so far. I mean, he's had some big plays in this ball game.
Yeah, already.
Yeah.
he's had a game worth of highlights in the quarter.
So the Braves, Allen back to pass, throws near the sideline, and Juan Anthony's going to be shoved out right at the sticks. So it's going to depend on where they put the football down, whether or not he picked up that first down.
Yeah, I don't think he got the spot he was looking for. It looks like he'll be about 1.5 yards short of what he probably thought he was. We'll see if that's a...
Yeah, 2 yards shy.
Yeah,
so a big third down coming up now for the Braves. 3rd and about 2. They pitch it back to Howard. He tries to spin inside his own man. He ran into his own offensive lineman on the play, and he's not going to get to the sticks.
Wow, the Tigers are doing an amazing job of just clogging up that middle. And again, I mean, just watch here. I mean, there's 2 guys stunting. They actually stunted into each other, but they stunted into the right hole and area. And there was just no one there to help. Tons of Tigers.
Yeah, the Tigers are doing an excellent job to shut down that running game. If you look at it for the first quarter, Jarvion Howard, 7 carries for 23 net yards, and that was it for the leading rusher in the SWAC. So they did a really good job on him. You look at passing, Aaron Allen 2 for 4 for only 14 yards, but the big key there was he was sacked twice as Keone kicks the football away back to the Tigers. Grambling on the return, and a nice return it is by number 16, Donald Johnson III. I mentioned before he was the SWAC Special Teams Player of the Week 2 weeks ago. His first action since winning that award.
Well, so, you know, he'd like to back it up with another one, right?
Yeah, had a nice return for a touchdown. What do you think the Alcorn State Braves have to do? Do you lean on your defense in this situation and hope they can come up with the big play?
Well, I think you've got to. I think they're almost getting a little too cute with their run game. I think there's off tackle and to the outside. There's plenty of room, and I think that's where they've got to concentrate their attack on.
So Julian Calvez comes back out at quarterback. Turns and he gives it to Washington, and Washington has some room around the outside. He did a great job, man. He looked a little bit like that Le'Veon Bell style where he kind of hesitated just a little bit, then he turned the corner.
the whole time it looked like he was going to cut and go right off that tackle, right here, right? And the defense starts to come in, and once they sucked in a little bit, he just put on the burners and took it around the edge. Great job.
Maurice Washington only 3 carries in the first quarter for 15 yards, but that's because of where they started with the football. You know, the possessions were so in the red zone to start the ball game. This time, a big hit, and Calvez goes down. So that big defense came up with a big play, number 44, Malachi Bailey.
Watch Malachi here. No one's blocking him. He just comes right off the edge, and he's not even seen till he's in the face of Calvin, man. Wow.
Yeah, that kind of looked like Malachi said, I'm just going to take over this ball game right now.
Yeah, I mean, you got to put a helmet on him, and there wasn't, and he was right behind another defender, and he just popped out and hit Calvez. He wasn't ready for it.
So that's going to be a loss of about 6, and now we have a whistle before they can get the snap off.
The Tigers can't afford to get in a penalty run here. This is their bugaboo. And they got to remember, like we talked about earlier, 4 quarters of football, they got to keep it together, keep that momentum.
All right, so they're going to review the play for a possible targeting on the play.
You know, I have to tell you this. I honestly don't understand the targeting rule and what they're looking for nowadays.
Let's see if we can take another look and see exactly at what Y.N. Myers and crew, what they're going to be looking at here to determine whether or not it was targeting on that completion.
Yeah, I thought that was just a good defensive play, real solid by big Malachi Bailey. Again, 6'2", 260, junior out of Atlanta, Georgia. Transfer from Independence Community College. So, I mean, here's a guy who's getting an opportunity here, and he made the best of it there. And again, he wasn't blocked. There was another defender being blocked in front of him. Yeah, yes, and he just shelled right off of him to get that sack. So maybe we're waiting to see, just like the refs, what that looks like. Here we go. And look, right there, see his other defenders in front of him, and he just comes off. Now, it certainly was helmet to helmet.
You know what the rule
says? But it's
says,
face mask. The face mask.
You cannot launch yourself, and that's going to be the question. As we take a look at that, it was hard to see from that angle but here comes Y.N. Myers as he finishes up the call.
But see, I think and again, this is my personal, I get by the letter of the law, you're not supposed to touch helmet to helmet, and especially if you're going forward. But there was no malice in that. That was just trying to get there. Okay, I'm not sure what he said there. We'll see if 44 is in there or not. If he's kicked out, then we'll know.
There's no call for targeting on the play, which means he saw what you saw on that play.
Right. We finally agree. Here's another angle of it right here. And again, he was just trying to get there. And again, there was he barely touched face mask. So that's a great no call there. Yeah, you can't take the aggressiveness out of a football player.
It was more of a push than anything else.
Correct.
2nd down now, and about 15 to go for a first down after the sack on Calvez. He starts with an empty backfield. Scrambles out of the pocket, cuts back inside, still on his feet. Couple of nice moves, and then he dives down for a nice game before Malachi is there again. Malachi Bailey tracked him down from behind.
Yeah, he's a worker. Now watch, Calvez is going to have to come out this play because his helmet came off. So that's going to be tough for the Tigers. So it'll be interesting to see if they call a timeout so they can keep him in there, or do they let him come out?
No, he's coming off the field, so we'll see who comes in for the next play, which will be 3rd down and long. Did a nice run on the play, though. Got a little bit of the lost yardage back.
How calm he was on that run. That's what he looked very smooth and very relaxed on his trip down the field.
They're looking at something on his head where he may have gotten a gash.
Well, I think the helmet coming off probably scratched him really good as that helmet came flying up. I mean, look, a helmet does not feel good coming off when you're not trying to take it off yourself.
So the Tigers now have a big third down. Looks like Chance Amy is in at quarterback. No, check that. It's Corterius Hawkins in at quarterback for that play after the helmet came off, and he tosses it deep, and it's going to go down as an incomplete pass.
Yeah, they were trying to catch the Braves off balance, right? When you get a quarterback that just steps in there, you think, okay, they're not going to heave it down the field. And they were trying to get him one right there.
Why not? You know, you could get a pass interference. There's a lot of things that could go on that play. So that will set up a putting situation for the Grambling Tigers.
Yeah, I like that call. Going to catch him off balance. But the Braves did a good job. That defense comes through here.
Hiles to punt it away again. This time it's a lot better. It's deep punt. And it might be, no. Grambling had an excellent opportunity to down that one inside the 5, actually near the 2-yard line, but they didn't do it. They couldn't execute down there, and then they had two Tigers there, had a chance to down the ball. 14-0 Tigers. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Butch Alcindor along with Jorge Vargas. Second quarter action with the Grambling Tigers leading Alcorn State 14-0 here in the second quarter. We pick up Alcorn with the ball with the white uniforms. That is their quarterback, Aaron Allen, wearing number 4 today. And he's going to walk over to the sideline. And they're going to have another timeout to talk about things.
You have a timeout, and then you have a timeout to talk about your timeout. Right now, I'm guessing they just got confused somehow. Maybe didn't have the right personnel in there. And they had to say, look, things just don't look right. I doubt they were looking at the Braves defense. At the Tigers defense and said, hey, we don't like something there. But instead of having a confused play or a bad play, hey, let's call the timeout. Let's just make sure we're on the same page.
Let's talk about Aaron Allen for a second, because Coach McNair has a lot of confidence in his quarterback. He's actually from Missouri City, Texas, transferred in from Louisiana Tech. Over 1,300 yards on the year, can throw the ball. We mentioned before he had his season high 379 yards last week. So when he gets hot, he's hot.
Yeah, you know he can do something. And again, you would think he would bring some of that rhythm in here to this game, and that's what the Braves are hoping to do. But they got to give him an opportunity.
1st and 10 for the Braves, with the ball resting just shy of the 20-yard line. Allen gets the snap, has some time, and it completes his pass. Nice little hook pattern there by Juan Anthony, and that's going to be a nice gain on 1st down.
Yeah, Tigers went man-to-man on this, and again, he just beat his man. And a good throw. And maybe that's something that helps him get in the rhythm.
2nd and about 3 now for the Braves. They have 3 wideouts to the left of Aaron Allen. Allen looking to throw again. Good protection. Way downfield. Trying to hit Anthony, and they ran out of real estate. Anthony right down the sideline, but never had an opportunity to catch that one.
Well, the issue there was Anthony was unfortunately running right on the sidelines. You've got to run in the numbers and not on the exact sidelines, because you got to give your quarterback room to give you some room to move and move the defender off yourself. And again, I mean, he just needed to come in another 2-3 yards towards the numbers, and he would have maybe had some room there, but he was way too far on the sidelines.
So 3rd and 3, you actually call it 3rd and 4. Looks like 3.5 for a 1st down for the Braves. Aaron Allen with the 3 wideouts to the left, looking for the slant. Wasn't there, so he runs with the football, and Allen will pick up a 1st down. Big 1st down on the play by Aaron Allen as Joshua Reed made the tackle for the Tigers.
Yeah, good job by him pulling it down. Didn't see what he liked. And again, enough room to get the 1st down. You have to start thinking, I just need to pick up the 1st down. I don't need a big play. Let's just keep converting down the field. Again, third down conversions are big for them. They got one there.
Braves stay with the same formation. It's worked out pretty well. Another 1st and 10. Allen fakes it inside, throws over the middle, has his man. A good catch in there by number 14, Montario Hunt. Hauls it in, the 6'1", 188-pounder.
Allen's starting to get some confidence and again puts it right in there. Good coverage, he was all over him, but the receiver did a good job of shielding the defender away from the ball.
Montario Hunt, a transfer from Rutgers. You know, we just said when he gets hot, he's hot, and he's just completed a couple in a row there, so he's got it going there. Hunt, of course, another big receiver.
I think the Tigers fans are like, why'd you mention he gets hot? Why'd you do that? And now he is.
Allen back to throw it again. Fires, has an open man near the sideline. That would be a 1st down as Malik Rogers hauled in that one and picked up the 1st down.
First time in the game, Braves starting to really get some rhythm here. And again, a little light play action there. Just freezes people enough. But again, that zone, he was too far off the zone, created the room, and they took it. Wouldn't be surprised if Howard gets a big run here.
Donald Lee pushed him out of bounds on the play, but not before he picked up the 1st down for the Braves.
Braves very deliberate, not calling the plays too quick, but very deliberate on this one.
1st and 10. Allen looking to throw again. Had some pressure, had to step up. Now he rolls out to the left side, trying to get outside. Good stiff arm there, allowed him to pick up 4 more yards.
Nice job there. And you know, as a defender, when you see a quarterback give you a stiff arm and you get knocked down as a defender, it kind of ticks you off, I would imagine, because it's like he could put his hand in my face. I can't touch this guy. I can't breathe on him. But he just made me look bad. So the next time you want to drill him, and then you're thrown out of the game on targeting.
Allen picked up about 5 there, so make it 2nd and 5 for the Braves. That was Myron Stewart, was a would-be tackler on that play that he was able to stiff arm away from him. Howard in the backfield. Jarvion Howard swings out to the left, but Allen is forced to the right. Still on his feet, and he just throws that one, and it's intercepted by the Tigers. And Grambling comes back on the return down the sideline all the way for the touchdown. It's number 1, Myron Stewart, who's been right in the middle of all the action here, coming up with a huge defensive play for Grambling, a pick 6 right down the sideline.
Allen was just trying to be a little too slick here, and it looked like he was going to try to throw it away, and then he gets hit right when he's doing it, and right to Stewart, and Stewart's been everywhere, and again, he just trotted in. There was no one around him as they head into the end zone. Again, another super miscue for the Braves right when they started getting some rhythm. That rhythm is interrupted by a pick 6 from Stewart.
How about the game Myron Stewart has played so far? The 6'1", 195-pounder from Port Gibson, Mississippi. And now we do have a flag down that the officials are going to talk about it. It may have been after the touchdown, could have been with the celebration, but let's wait and see exactly what Y.N. Myers and company have. But I think you call that exactly right. He was going to maybe throw that ball out, and he got hit right when he released it, and the ball goes right to Stewart.
Yeah. And again, for Allen, I mean, he was looking very calm and trying to, you know, but he just tried to be a little too relaxed. And as soon as he wound up, he got hit, and that ball just flooded out there, and Stewart knew what to do with it. We'll see what this flag's about. It doesn't look like it's going to come take the points off the board.
So the touchdown is good, and then it's an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty. So Garrett Urban will come on to add the extra point. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up, and it is perfect. And the Tigers tacked one more on. So here in the second quarter, it's all Grambling so far after this play right here by Aaron Allen. On the roll, under pressure, fires it, and Myron Stewart takes it all the way for the touchdown for the G-Men.
Has never been better. That is hockey.
That is the correct score you are looking at on your screen. 21-0. Grambling leading Alcorn State after that 67-yard interception return for a touchdown by Myron Stewart. And we got 7:01 to go here in the second quarter.
Big G in the house, getting it done. Something to dance about for sure.
Yeah, we said Coach Hugh Jackson couldn't have scripted this any better. He's getting his team to excel today on special teams, offense, and defense in every phase of the game.
I mean, that's what you're looking for.
That personal foul, personal conduct penalty was against Ray Estes of the Grambling Tigers. So Garrett Urban will be way back, but he gets a good kick. And a nice return coming up now by the Braves. T. Adams on the return for Alcorn State.
Now for Aaron Allen in the offense, they've got to regroup, right? They actually had some good rhythm going. That offense was moving along. Can you put behind the mistake, right, and then keep going? And again, I keep thinking that, you know, Javarian Howard has got to touch the ball more. And again, I think off tackle to the outside is open for him, and I think that's where they got to, you know, have a couple successful plays there and then play action off of that. He's such a threat, though. They're playing play action off of him, even though they're not even running the ball.
Yeah, and I want to check that on the interception return. It's officially 68 yards on the interception return for the Grambling Tigers that allowed them to take a 21-zip lead here with 6:56 to go in the second quarter. They go to the running game, though. Howard ripping off a big run right up the middle. A great job by Jarvion Howard with a big game.
Yeah, I said he needs to go off tackle. He said, not so fast, my friend. I'm going to run behind my guard. And I'm going at it. Got to keep him involved.
So Trey Lawrence in at quarterback now as he gives it once again to Howard. But we have a new quarterback in the ball game, Trey Lawrence. He's a 6'3", 185-pound junior from Jacksonville, Florida. Seeing his first action, so Coach Fred McNair decided to make a switch. He gives again to Howard, and Howard just punches his way forward.
And again, they like going up that middle, but I think off tackle they've got some room on that outside. And I don't mean run like, you know, way outside scats or sweeps. I mean just an off tackle run where you bend it to the outside. There's a big gap there.
Joshua Reed on that last stop. That's going to set up a 3rd and about 2 for the Braves as they try to keep this drive rolling.
And again, this is the best field position for the Braves. And for them, it's all important to get 7 out of this drive.
Now we have another flag down, and you see a couple of the Tigers pointing toward the Braves.
Yeah, I think big number 75 took off a little early. Another timeout.
Seen a lot of timeouts here in the first half today.
The Braves have used them all. They're done now with their timeouts for this half. And again, they called a timeout right before he jumped. They must have called it because big number 75 on that right tackle spot. We see him move.
Yeah, he was early.
Yeah, but they must have called a timeout right before that.
Yeah, that was Jamal Lofton, number 75, the 6'5", 314-pounder there from Northwest Community College. So that was a good use of a timeout there by
Oh, no question. And then for the Braves, look, make no doubt about it, this is 4-down territory, right? I think this is where you're going to go for 4 downs unless it's totally unreasonable, then try your field goal. But if you've got a shot at all, anywhere between a 4th and 3, you're going to go for it on 4th. If not, you'll kick your field goal and get on the board. But I wouldn't be surprised if they just go for 4th down, period.
A huge 3rd down and 2 now for the Braves if they put Duffy in motion to the right. Throws back to Nico Duffy. Duffy had to shake the defender, but he could not do it. So he's going to be stopped. They're going to come up short of the 1st down.
He went backwards. So, I mean, you were in a 4th and 2 reasonable. And again, took so long for that ball to get to the outside. The defense, the Tigers do a fantastic job of closing. Donald Lee just saw that and just attacked that ball.
Yeah, he did a great job. That was a super open field tackle. Tough to bring down a running back in the open field like that. So the Braves are going to line up and attempt to go for it on 4th down. Trey Lawrence in at quarterback. Has a little time, fires, and he's almost intercepted. He threw it right into the waiting arms right there. I think, let's see who that's. Donald Lee, who was right there waiting for it, had his hands on it, and just could not hang on. So that's a 4th down, and the Braves do not convert. So with 4:36 to go, the Grambling Tigers out in front, 21-0 at home.
Dad?
Yeah.
Do fish get thirsty?
Find new answers. Find new roads. Chevrolet.
Welcome back, everyone. And after that failed attempt on 4th down by the Alcorn State Braves, Grambling will get the football back. 1st and 10 from their 37-yard line, and the Tigers have a lot of motion going on. I mean, you know, they were coming off a bye week, and it looked like they put it to good use because they came out with a couple of new things today. This time they're going to pass it. Calvan going way down there, has his man, and it's off the fingertips. Almost a big play. Calvez shoots it deep, and that was almost one of those big impact plays for the Tigers.
Yeah, J.R. Waters, really, I mean, that ball was up there for him. Probably just got a little bit off the bounce. It was sky high, dropping it. It dropped right in there. Look at it. It's going to hit his right hand there. If he would have saw the ball a little bit better, he could have positioned himself a little bit more to the right, made it an easier catch. But I like the play. Go deep. Try to just put the clamps on the Braves. That's what the Tigers are doing.
Yeah, Waters was open. They just could not connect on that. And ball might have been just a tad long as he reached out and tried to pull it back in. So whistle on the play, a delayed whistle there as we saw the offense jump, and then we get the whistle.
And for the Tigers, a big key was you have to play 4 quarters of football, and you got to reduce the penalties. And again, they can't get behind the chains.
But during the off week last week, you know, we got a chance to talk to Coach Jackson this week, and he said one of the things they did was they went back and reevaluated every position and everything. They wanted to like reevaluate themselves. So we're going to take a timeout now with the Tigers up 21-0, 4:25 to go in the 2nd quarter. We'll be right back.
That is hockey on ESPN+.
And if you're just joining us, it's been all Grambling so far in this one. The G-men out in front 21-0. They're coming off their bye week for this one, and, you know, you got to think it was a productive one.
It sure looks like it. They come out as a brand new team. You self-evaluate, but do you do something with that? And it sure looks like they've done that, Butch.
2nd down and 10. I mean, they had a lot of motion. Looked like it might have been added this week. This time the handoff goes to the big fella, Washington, and he spins back inside before he is knocked down.
Maurice Washington's an interesting looking back because he's got a tall stride. He stands up high. He doesn't really lower himself, but he's very smooth and he's not in a hurry when he runs. And you mentioned Le'Veon Bell, and I think that's a pretty good comparison of just at least how calm he looks in the back. He's a big, good-sized guy, but he runs tall.
He does, and he's been very impressive so far today. 3rd and 9 this time for Julian Calvez and the offense. He has 3 receivers on the left side, throws it high, but a great catch there by 88 Claude Coleman, who had to go high, squeezed that one in his big hands, and a good catch.
I'm not sure if that'll be enough, but boy, what a catch, because the throw was obviously a little high, but he went up and got it. Depends on where that mark is. 4th and 1.
4th and 1 coming up now for the Tigers. And the offense doesn't even flinch. So Hugh Jackson says that if they can convert this, 2 things happen. One, they get to run some more time off the clock because they're the team that's ahead. So let's see. Tigers on 4th and 1. They turn and they hand it off to Maurice Washington around the left side. Washington has a lot of room down the sideline, and he's finally pushed out of bounds. But that was all Maurice Washington as he turned nothing into something.
Wow, I mean, just look how calm he looks. It's supposed to be in there, and you'd think he'd just duck his head and get that 1 yard. When he went to the outside, my first reaction was, oh, no. Right? You're not only going to get the first time, you're going to lose yards. But he just hits this other gear, and just a great job sprinting down that sideline, catches the edge. Great game for the Tigers and a big, big first down.
You can see he's the 6'1", 190-pounder from Stockton, California. And it's the vision to be able to see the daylight on the outside and the speed to turn the corner. So 1st and 10, Calvez looking way downfield into the end zone, and it's incomplete. A pass, Bean had his hands on it, almost hauled it in right there. Noah Bean had a nice shot at this ball.
Yeah, and I mean, it's put up there. And watch him. He goes up and gets it. I thought he caught it at first, but he brought it to his body, didn't settle it down, and he just could not get a hold of that ball.
Well, how about that pass from Calvez? Back shoulder right on the money there. You're right. Bean just lost it as he hit the turf.
And again, his quarterback put it where it needed to be. Probably floated a little too high if you want to be totally critical, but it was a catchable ball, albeit a tough one.
Bean is a big 6'2", 235-pounder from Simi Valley. Transfer from UNLV. This time, another pass attempt. Calvez looking deep. He got his man right there at the 2-yard line, and he stepped out of bounds as he went right back to Bean for the completion.
I love when quarterbacks do that. He says, Bean, hey, you owe me one, brother. Here it is. And again, he's open. Man, if he could have just gotten a little bit sooner, he'd have been able to turn it in for a touchdown. But Bean made the short catch there, stepped out of bounds, and watch, he'll point his quarterback and say, I got you.
Noah Bean with that catch sets up a 1st and goal to go for the Grambling Tigers. But you're right, if that ball had been delivered on time, he had to step out a little bit, but he was open and right there at the goal line.
Yeah, and again, after having a drop, he wanted back. I like the way he just made sure he stopped and caught, do the catch. Don't try to do something, his instinct was probably to catch it, try to get in that end zone super fast. Then he was like, you know what, I'm catching this. I'm not playing around. And now you got a first from the 2-yard line.
Yeah, we're down to 1:51 to go until halftime, and the Grambling Tigers once again knocking at the door for another possible touchdown in this one. They lead at 21-0, and they go back on offense. So we're going to see Maurice Washington here. This time the quarterback keeps it, and Calvez runs it in for the touchdown. So Julian Calvez sprints around the left side, turns it up, and it's an easy touchdown for Grambling.
Yeah, it is, because that whole Braves defense goes, are we going to see Washington? No, we're not. Calvez did a great job of really riding that out a bit and then just takes it in for the easy touchdown. And again, Braves have been on their heels this entire game, and that was a tough one right there to give up. That 7 or 6.
So Garrett Urban out to make it 7, and he does. A good kick from Garrett Urban, and we have a 28-0 lead. Fakes the chalk and takes off.
Yeah, and again, Alcorn just bought inside. I mean, those Braves came barreling inside, just knowing it's going to be right up the middle, and he quickly took off.
I think that's the effect of the running game so far in this one, that they've been having some success on the ground, so when he pulls it out, it's tough for the defense.
No, I mean, you called it. I mean, hey, what are we going to see right here? And again, it just wasn't there, and the Braves start second-guessing themselves. And again, when you're a player, you start thinking too much and not just following your reads and your responsibilities. Because, again, that outside linebacker or that DN needed to make sure they had the outside. And instead, they try to do too much. It's, you try to do other responsibilities besides your own. And your job is to hold that outside line. And that linebacker or that DN doesn't stay to the outside, depending on if it's a stunt inside by your DN or your linebacker scraping, when you don't follow your responsibility and you let your eyes do too much, guess what? You get an easy touchdown for the offense.
Well, it was, and there's not much you can say that the Grambling Tigers haven't had a lot of success with here in the first half. It's been an impressive outing for the Tigers for one half of football.
Yeah, and again, they've got to ice this half and then make sure they make the proper adjustments and keep the same intensity for the second half.
Urban's kick goes into the end zone, and it's fair caught right there by Manny Jones. So the Braves will take over another offensive possession now from the 25-yard line. And with 1:40 left to go, I mean, Coach McNair is, he would love to have some points on the board before halftime.
Well, I think what you really need in a game like this is trying to find something positive, because there's going to be, let's just say, some aggressive conversations at halftime, but you're going to want to try to point out something of a spark, something to build on. You can't just beat up a team at halftime. You got to have something that you relate to, and they're looking for something right here.
Well, Alcorn came into this game averaging 24 points a game. And so far today, they've been blanked here in the first half. And the Grambling defense again making a big response, led by Lewis Matthews, as they shut that one down.
Yeah, those yellow jerseys are swarming. They are getting it done. And the Braves not in a hurry here. They want this half over with, so they can just go and regroup.
So 2nd down and 10 to go. No gain on that last run after the big hit by Matthews.
Taking a long time for this play to come in.
If you're just joining us, Trey Lawrence has come on at quarterback in relief of Aaron Allen. He's at the controls now, number 13. Gives it to Howard. Howard with a nice spin move, but Matthews again with the big smackdown.
And Myron Stewart was there again. He was around that area as well. Stewart's had one heck of a game, man. I mean, he has just been everywhere.
Down to the final 32 seconds to go here in the first half.
And the Tigers not trying to call timeout here either. They're going to let this half go. One more play. The Braves will have to run, I believe. Or do they? Depends on when they set that play clock.
Let's see. Final 15 seconds now ticking off. And the Braves are going to head back to the locker room to regroup and get ready for the second half. You're watching Matthews right there, who had a great first half. Lewis Matthews, man, he was the smackdown king on that defensive unit, and he's trying to keep his team fired up. As you see, Coach Fred McNair heading to the locker room with his team trailing in this one, 28-0. Kind of hard to believe. A lot of high school cheerleaders in the house today enjoying themselves, and they're getting to see some good football. Calvez there on the run, but an interception right there by Myron Stewart takes it 68 yards to the house. The big defensive play, Grambling up 28-0. We'll be right back with our halftime report. Welcome back, everyone. We are at the half with the Grambling Tigers out in front, 28-0 over the Alcorn State Braves. Now we got a real treat for you here as the world-famous Tiger Marching Band, the best band in the land, is going to perform, and we're going to stop and take a look and listen for your enjoyment, the Tiger Marching Band.
We are still at the half with the Grambling Tigers leading Alcorn State 28-zip. They capitalized on 2 early turnovers, made it pay off. We'll be right back with more of our halftime activities in just a minute. Time now to check out some SWAC news and notes presented to you by Academy Sports and Outdoors. First, Tigers and Wildcats claim titles. How about that? Jackson State, the men's team, they claim back-to-back SWAC cross-country championship titles. And Bethune-Cookman, the women from Bethune-Cookman, win their first ever SWAC title since joining the conference in 2021. And then how about some weekly honors? Trayvon Connolly from Prairie View, Aubrey Miller from Jackson State, Savion Wilkerson also from JSU, and Sean Xavier Lewis from Texas Southern University named SWAC Football Players of the Week. And how about this note? Grambling State and Southern men's basketball teams are selected to play in the NBA HBCU Classic February 18th, 2023 in Salt Lake City as part of the NBA All-Star 2023 weekend. That should be exciting and a fun event to watch. Let's check out some scores from around the league today. It's brought to you by Chevrolet, and we start with Jackson State taking on Southern. They are now in the fourth quarter, and it's all Jackson State 28-0. Tigers leading that one. In the Magic City Classic, how about Alabama A&M with a 14-3 lead over Alabama State? Bethune-Cookman, that's a bit of a surprise right there with a 28-21 lead over Bubba McDowell and the Prairie View Panthers. Elsewhere coming up way in the first quarter, Arkansas Pine Bluff taking on Florida A&M. And how about TSU, their homecoming game for Texas Southern? They're leading Lincoln 17-2 in the second quarter. So a good job by the TSU Tigers on homecoming there with a lead over Lincoln as they get close in on the halftime. We're going to check out the upcoming schedule in the SWAC, brought to you by Pepsi Zero Sugar. You can see a big game coming up between Alabama A&M and Mississippi Valley State. That's a Thursday night game on November 3rd. How about Alcorn going down to Prairie View on Friday, November 4th? Then you have Arkansas Pine Bluff here at Grambling. That should be a big game also, the way the Tigers are playing now. And as we move on the schedule, we have Alabama State taking on Bethune-Cookman, Southern at Florida A&M, Southern losing big to Jackson State today. And then, this is the one we're waiting for. We're going to be on site for Jackson State taking on the TSU Tigers.
Yeah, Jackson State's for real, no question about it. And again, wherever they show up, fans show up, right? People want to see what Primetime's doing at Jackson State. So it should be a good one over there with TSU really playing a lot better week after week.
Let's take a look now at the big picture in the SWAC. We'll check out the standings brought to you by Chevrolet. As you can see in the East, Jackson State with that perfect 7-0 record, closing in on 8-0. They are in first place. And Southern right now has a lot of work to do. They're trailing 28-0, so they're at 3-1 with Prairie View at 3-1. Both of those teams are losing, and Texas Southern is winning. So you could have a situation there, depending on what happens in the second half, where Texas Southern is right in the mix.
Yeah, they are in the mix. Again, it's one of those things, all you want to do as a team is be in control of your own destiny and your own environment. And so far, TSU, they just got to win out and handle it again. But, of course, they'll handle the business today, and then they have to deal with Jackson State next week. And again, that will be everyone guns, as Prime told us last week when we did his game. He's a Super Bowl for everybody that pops up. So.
Here at our game, it's the Grambling Tigers out in front, 28-0. We'll be right back with more of our halftime report in just a minute.
Martin.
Rescue do.
We're getting set for third quarter action here at Eddie G. Robinson Stadium. And as we take a look, it's 20-0
Grambling at this point over Alcorn State. We know what Coach Hugh Jackson's going to tell his team at the halftime. He's going to say, keep doing what you're doing, man. Don't stop. But what will Fred McNair say to his Alcorn State Braves?
Well, I think the first thing you have to do with a 28-0 score is say, look, guys, I don't want anybody to look at the scoreboard, right? When you get in a game like this, you got to quit looking at the scoreboard, and you literally go to, hey, let's look at each play, and each play matters. Let's win the play.
Okay, well, let's take a look at our highlights to show you exactly how we got to that 28-0 margin in favor of the Grambling Tigers. And it started on the opening kickoff of the game. Manny Jones fumbled it away, and the Tigers recovered, and that would set up a touchdown. And then Alcorn comes back on the attack. Aaron Allen there showing his running ability, trying to get something going, but that Grambling defense stepped up to every challenge they had. They really did. And how about this big fella here? Maurice Washington. And then the block punt. That was huge. That was a huge play. The block punt would set up another touchdown. And just nothing going because the Grambling defense was outstanding. Matthews getting the job done. And you see a touchdown there by the Tigers. It just was just too much Grambling in the first half.
Yeah, every time they had an opportunity, they would make them pay. They did a fantastic job here. Again, you get turnovers, you want to turn them into 7, and that's exactly what they did. And then in that last group, they drove down and got another touchdown, and that's what you want. Put them away.
Calvez on the touchdown run right there made it 21-0. Or excuse me, 28-0.
Right.
And it was just that kind of first half. Let's take a look at the stats and see if we can kind of figure out what happened after that. You see the time of possession there is in favor of Alcorn, but it's because the Grambling drives were so short.
Exactly, and really the offensive stats, total yards, don't really mean a whole lot here. And even third down possession, third down conversions for Grambling doesn't hurt them. You're 0 for 5. But Alcorn has got to put something together. And like you said, time of possession. But really, it's the turnovers, things we don't see here. That's the real issue. The turnovers, and not just turnovers, but where they were. A pick six, obviously, that's not only a turnover, but causing a direct a touchdown. So, the Braves just have to truly just clean it up, not look at the scoreboard, and just play each play and each drive, right? You convert, and then you start looking at the scoreboard later on down to the fourth to see where you are if you got an opportunity. But if they look at the overwhelming 28 points, there's nothing you can do. You just got to win each drive.
Some of the first half numbers for the Grambling Tigers. Maurice Washington led the way in rush. Only had 6 carries, but he had 59 yards and a touchdown. That was huge. Julian Calvan as a passer, 6 of 11, 53 yards. Was sacked only 1 time. And the second half is underway now with the Tigers getting the football first. And on the return is Antonio Jones, and he's thrown down short of the 20 at around the 18-yard line.
So good coverage. First spark of special teams for the Braves that they've shown up and done something that they like. And again, you can only do each play, win each play. The Braves right now are that's their target.
Just to finish up some of the stats for Grambling, and I know you're going to have Alcorn a little later, but the Noah Bean only had 1 reception, but it was for 25 yards. It was a big reception. It would set up another touchdown, a nice play. So Grambling has done a good job of just taking advantage of the mistakes. They've capitalized on the mistakes that have been presented to them. So 1st and 10 for the Tigers, and they go back to that running game. And a big run again by Maurice Washington as he turns the corner, the transfer from Nebraska, showing he can tote the rock too.
Yeah, and again, just his change of field position and looking where he wants to go. And he sets up his openings by look like he's bending inside, and then he just kicks it to the outside, and his speed's deceptive.
That's exactly right, because he's gotten a lot of mileage by kind of giving that little move inside, getting the defense to flow inside, then he bounces it back to the outside. So it's going to bring up 2nd and short, 2nd and about 2. Calvez fires inside. It's an incomplete pass, but we do have a flag down, and so is number 88, Claude Coleman.
That was a throwdown. Again, it'll be interesting to see what this call is. I'm not sure.
Y.N. Myers with illegal procedure against the Tigers, so that's going to turn that 2nd and short into 2nd and about 7.
And this is just, you can't have those type of mistakes. You just can't do it. But the flag came really late. That's which was interesting there. If it was a legal procedure, it should have been right at the ball snap. So I'm not sure he was just delayed getting it out, but look at those yard markers longer than 2nd and 2 here. Probably 2nd and 7.
2nd down, they go. No, fake inside by Kelvez around the right side, and he slides just shy of the 1st down, maybe a 1.5 yards short, but it's a good job because they want to keep that young man in the ballgame.
Yeah, but what's interesting is look at the mark here. Watch, you see where he goes into the slide, but it looks like they marked it as soon as he thought of sliding. I think he's way short. They didn't give him the downs he should have had on here once we get a better look here.
Well, I think we asked one of the officials about it, and it's whenever you start to slide. So that's in the official's judgment as to when that takes place. So it's going to be 3rd and about 4 now. Williams on the carry, bounces off one tackler, but he's not going to get to the sticks or the line of scrimmage. Chance Williams is going to lose a yard on the play. So that's going to be 4th and short, 4th and about 3.
And a good job by the Braves shutting them down. Again, no room at all. Big number 33 plugs the hole.
Kyle Webb does a good job. He had a good 1st half.
Yeah. And again, you win a series, right? You make them punt. Now it's the offense's turn for the Braves to try to see if they can make something happen. And for the Tigers, they just got to not let them get a rhythm.
So that'll bring on Jimmy Isles again. He actually averaged 42 yards a kick in the 1st half. So he did a pretty good job for the Tigers. And he gets a big roll off of that one. Kick looked like it was going to be short, but then it ended up rolling all the way down to the 32-yard line where the Tigers are going to touch it down. Antonio Jones would touch it down right there. We're going to pause for another timeout now after that kick by Isles with the Grambling Tigers out in front. They lead the Alcorn State Braves 28-zip.
Dig in to support Black-owned restaurants.
Welcome back, everyone. We have Alcorn State with the football. They go to the running game, and they give it to the leading rusher in the SWAC, and he takes it down for a nice game. Of course, that is Jarvion Howard, the 5'10", 200-pound redshirt senior from Columbia, Mississippi. He's had quite a year so far. Actually came into this game with almost 900 yards. So he's pretty close to 900 right now. And again, it's Howard bouncing off of would-be tacklers, and he picks up another nice gain. And that may be a way for them to get back into this game.
Exactly. He just at the half, he just had 57 yards, 3.9 a carry. And this guy can certainly, again, he's used to averaging 122 yards a game. So they want to pick it up, and he's just such a solid, something they can depend on. And I was surprised they didn't go to him a little bit more earlier in the game.
So he's over 900 yards now for the season as the transfer from Syracuse. And he gets the football again, and this time, though, he's stacked up by the Grambling Tigers, number 91, leading the charge. That's Cameron Richardson.
Tigers all game long have done a really good job up the middle. And again, you know, it's like most sports. You know, you protect your middle. If your middle's strong, good things can happen. And again, the Tigers are doing that.
Doing that, getting some outstanding play from Lewis Matthews. This time, the pass down near the sidelines is intercepted as the receiver slipped down. He lost his footing and a big turnover for the Tigers again. Ray Estes on the interception, and he still can't get his feet. But what a play by Ray Estes, the 6-foot, 180-pounder from St. Louis.
Wow, as the PA announcer said, make some noise for this defense. Wow, they have had opportunities, and again, when you have opportunities, you have to capitalize. That could have been he wasn't expecting that ball to be in his face, but he caught it and then had a great return as well.
Juan Anthony lost his footing on the play. I mean, it would have been a perfect pass, but he goes down, and when your receiver goes down, 9 times out of 10, that's what happens right there. Receivers have to stay on their feet.
Yeah, because, I mean, he had good coverage there. Again, that play might have been a real tight one anyway if the receiver wouldn't have fallen, but it certainly made it easy for him to step in front.
So Ray Estes with another big play by the Grambling defense. 1st and 10 now for Calvez. He slides up in the pocket, fires deep, and it's going to be incomplete as he overshot his man. Was trying to hit Coleman coming over the middle.
You know, Calvez, again, it's hard to criticize a lot of what the Tigers is doing, but he had plenty of time, and his receiver was open. It's almost like, when you throw, you start to try to go, I want to put it right there, and you start really thinking about it instead of just throwing it. He looks like he's really thinking too much when he throws. If he just relaxes, lays it up there, lets that receiver run under it.
Grambling came into this game at 1-6, but they are not playing like a 1-6 team today. Calvez turns and he hands to Washington, and Washington is going to be pulled down. He doesn't get anywhere with that one. A fine play in the backfield. That's Charles Gonzalez on the stop.
Yeah, he was right back there. And again, that normal pause and relaxation was short-lived.
3rd down now coming up, 12 yards to go. And the Tigers they've done pretty well on 3rd down. They've had some plays where penalties have been converted. And now they have another opportunity here on 3rd and 12. Julian Calvez with Williams in the backfield. Calvez steps up, has some room on the outside, but he can't get there. A fine play as he is thrown down by Claudine Sherrillis. What a play right there. He's one of the veterans on this defense for the Alcorn State Braves.
He saw wide open. He's like, this is great. And it closed in a hurry. Braves did a great job of all collecting. Just follow the ball.
Claudine just tracked him down. The transfer from UMass. And Coach was really excited about this guy. He said he plays downhill, and he's a hard hitter. And he played last year and had a lot of success. So they were really happy to have him back on defense this year. So Jimmy Iles, again, he's getting a lot of opportunities now. High snap, but he reaches up, gets it, and he does a great job of just quick kicking that ball. He just kind of punched it.
Yeah.
But that was a high snap. Iles jumped up, made the catch, and avoided what could have been big trouble for the Grambling Tigers. We're going to pause for another timeout now. 9:25 to go here in the 3rd quarter. All Grambling so far, 28-6.
That is hockey on ESPN+.
The SWAC Football on ESPN is presented by Rocket Mortgage. For an expert partner to help buy your new home, Rocket can. 1st and 10 now for the Braves. And the pass near the sideline there. Incomplete pass on the play as Aaron Allen shot it out wide, was trying to find his man Montario Hunt. Goes down as an incomplete pass. What are the numbers you have on Aaron Allen so far?
Aaron Allen, 6 of 10, 1 interception. The long 14 yards, so they need a little bit more of him to get something done here.
After the incomplete pass, 2nd and 10 for the Braves. They go on the ground, trying to pick up the tough yardage, but the Tigers are right there to make the stop on Howard.
Yeah, I mean, they need more of Trey. Obviously, Aaron Allen went out, so Trey Lawrence is in, and he just had 1 completion, 2 attempts, and they certainly need something big to happen there for the Braves.
Yeah, big 3rd down coming up here, and they need it to keep this drive going and get some points on the board and try to get back into this ball game with 8:46 to go here in the 3rd quarter. So Trey Lawrence is going to be hit and dropped in the backfield by Powell, Brian Powell. And once again, the Grambling defense, impressive.
Yeah, that was a stunt, really well portrayed right there. He comes slanting in from the outside to the end, and he just finishes. You know, a stunt's only good when you get there. He got there.
He got there. Great play by Powell who's a 6'2", 230-pounder from Atlanta. Came into this game with 2 sacks, make it 3 now. I think he had an assist, so let's give him 3.5. Javon Carter also very, very close on that play, but every time the Grambling Tigers need a big play, the defense is there to deliver. So now the Braves will have to punt out of their own end zone. No pressure on Keone as he gets it deep to Johnson. Johnson on the return now, trying to get to the outside, and a great tackle right there as he is upended. Number 28 coming in. That's Kobe Towns with a fine tackle there to shut down that punt return.
Yeah, he was inches away from being able to break something off big, and Towns saved the day there. Talk about shoestring tackle, right? He'll come diving in at that end and just grabs that calf there, flings that leg up, and that stopped it.
There was a flag down on the play, and it will go against Alcorn.
I tell you, the Braves just feel like they're, running uphill. That proverbial everything's uphill both ways, right? And that's what it feels like. And sometimes that's just the way it is, and you got to fight through it. And that's what coaches look for. They look for players who's fighting through it, who keeps working, keep putting the work in.
So first down for the Tigers, and they pitch it out to Williams. And Williams still on his feet, does a great job. Now it's a foot race, 5, touchdown Grambling as Chance Williams. But there is another flag down, so let's not get too far ahead of ourselves here. But great blocking, great execution on the sweep, and Chance Williams took it all the way to the house.
You called it literally right there. I mean, great execution. We'll see if it's too good of execution, maybe some holding. I think he said J.R. Waters #1 on a hold, and that'll upset you big time when you look at big plays taking points off the board here. But look at this play. Everyone's moving. Everyone gets a man, and then he just sees a hole and really gets the hit and just keeps going. There's the hold, and there's the hold right there. And really it's the original right when he tries to turn and he hangs on to the shoulder pads. That's when that's called. And that'll drive you nuts.
Yeah, because they could see him. It was right in front of the officials at that angle where they can see he had his hands all around the shoulder pad. So that's going to back him up 10.
Yeah, and they allow you to extend your arms and hold on. But as soon as you start, it goes in an angle and you're holding someone back. That's when the flags come out.
So from the spot where they marked that foul, it's going to set up. Let's see, now they're going to talk about it here. Timeout, Alcorn.
No, delay of game is what they just called.
On
and
Grambling.
That is aggravating because sometimes when they spot the ball, you still think they're dealing with the infraction, right? And then you don't know where the ball's spotted. It takes you a while to get going, and they're running that clock, and you don't even know when the clock's going.
It's funny you should say that because the chains were really late getting down there. And so now they give it back, and they go to Chalk, who starts one way, reverses field, comes back the other way, but the Braves are having none of that. Fine play right there by Chalk. Trying to make something happen, but good defense by Alcorn.
Yeah, Lorenzo Garcia just came out of Andrew Smith came out of nowhere right at the very end and just chopped him low. He could go nowhere.
So second down, and it looks like 10 yards to go for a first down for the Grambling Tigers. Calvez rocking back, tried to set up the screen, and had they set that one up, there was a lot of room out there for Chance Williams to rip off a big play.
Yeah, I think even if he was just speed walking, he would have gotten 15. Don't ask me where I pulled that one from.
There was a lot of open spaces right in front of Chance Williams, but the heat came too quickly on Calvez, and so he had to throw it a lot sooner than he wanted to.
And again, that's where Calvez has got to relax, and I think he's just trying to pinpoint things and just feel it, right? You got to feel it as a quarterback and trust yourself.
3rd and 10 now. This time he's under pressure, has to roll to his right. Calvez still looking downfield, gets away from the pressure, and then he's going to be knocked out of bounds after a gain of about 3, maybe 4 yards on the play.
Well, he does that wind up real quick and decides, no, I don't like it. No, I don't like it. Yeah, I'm going to go. No, I'm going to throw. And he does a great job of going right back to the running back and a passer very calmly. And he almost pulled something out right there. Pretty special.
Yeah, picked up about 4 yards, so now that's going to set up a punting situation for the Grambling Tigers if they're going to kick the football back. And right now, you know, they're playing the clock just as much as they're playing the Braves.
Yep. And the thing he did there is, hey, I'm going to just swallow this. I'm not going to give a bad play, throw an interception or fumble. Smart play.
So Jimmy Isles, no pressure. Tries to float this one high. And the Tigers are going to knock it back and down it inside the 5. Good hustle by the Grambling State special teams as they got downfield. And they're going to mark the ball inside the 5. We're going to pause for a timeout now. Grambling out in front of Alcorn, 28-0. We'll be back with 6:02 to go in the third quarter.
Proud to celebrate the HBCU legacy and all those to add to it in their own way.
Welcome back, everyone. Butch Halsendor and Jorge Vargas with you here for the Grambling Alcorn State game, and the Tigers out in front 28-0 as Alcorn gets the football and they go to Howard, who's going to pick up about 3 or 4. And if you look at kind of the drive summary from the day, the first drive of the day for Grambling, 22 yards and 5 plays. Took them 3 minutes. Second drive after that, 3 plays, and it only went 16 yards. Then you had the interception return for a touchdown. Then another drive, 7 plays, 64 yards. So it's been the field position that has really set up the Tigers today.
Yeah, the only time they made him work at all was that last drive to put it to 28. And the Tigers, to their attribution, they got it done.
So Nico Duffy in, and he gets the chance to tote the rock. And the Tigers are having none of that. Reed with a big tackle. Joshua Reed, the 6-foot, 225-pounder from Houston. He's a transfer from Blinn Community College.
Yeah, Blinn puts out some good ones, no doubt about that. Big Lewis Matthews was also there. Well, the Tigers have done a great job team tackling. You know, I mean, when you watch a really good defense, there isn't someone that sticks out as much with a million tackles and everybody else has got 2, right? You know, you want a defense that everybody's got tackles.
So Duffy in the backfield makes a good block. Pass is complete. A good pass by Trey Lawrence. And that should be a first down for the Braves. He hit Montario Hunt on the play, the transfer from Rutgers.
Yeah, that was a good clean pass right there. Looked smooth.
And the block by Duffy saved the day. That time, Antonio Jones, you could see Lawrence throwing that as a slant, and Jones, for some reason, was trying to pull up.
Yeah, Manny Jones didn't want to, I don't know if he saw someone coming, felt some ground vibrations or something, but it just didn't, or they were just off cue altogether. We got a Tiger down on the field here.
And
he's up quick.
He's going to get up quick. But, yeah, that's just like, I don't think you can put that incomplete on Lawrence. It looked like he was throwing the slant pass in there, and his receiver, for whatever reason, either stopped or slowed down.
Yeah, Tigers somehow think they got some kind of halftime break here to get back up and line up. They had a player down for a minute, but he walked right off. So Braves just get ready to go.
You know, Hugh Jackson was talking about a lot about the future on our call, but he's going to be pretty happy with the present today with what he's seeing on the football field.
Yeah. He talked about building and recreating truly the passion and what that G stands for on your helmet and what Grambling has meant to HBCUs in general and also the SWAC, right? What type of traditions they have, what's been built there by Eddie Robinson, and just the pride, bring it back. And if they don't want to be a part of that pride, get out. That's that simple.
2nd and 10. Lawrence has to roll, and he's going to just throw that one away. And you mentioned the G on the helmet. And for Brian Howard, the sports information director at Grambling, gave us a nice story about the G on the helmet, how they played a couple of games. We do have a flag down, by the way, but they played a couple of games.
Roughing the passer.
Roughing the passer, first down. But they actually played 3 games this year without the G on their heads.
Yeah, and that's just, and that was where he stood up and said, look, and that's when he told the team about the pride and what went on. Bethune-Cookman, Prairie View A&M.
And Alabama A&M.
And Alabama A&M is what games they did not play with the G. And some of their fans, quite frankly, weren't all that happy. They said they didn't like the looks of no G on that helmet. But he's like, our team has to understand what that G means, so they'll be proud enough to wear it and do it right? It's one thing when you lose, but if the effort's not there and playing with pride, and again, we talked at the beginning of this game about playing 4 full quarters, he's trying to bring that in, making them understand who's gone before them, and you owe the university some pride. And again, those are long-run moves that aren't very popular when you make them, but it resets your program, and that's what he said. I don't mind ripping it down to bring it back up the right way. And he said, I chose to come here to make something special, not I had to come here.
Yeah,
right?
It's funny. When I asked him that, I said, what was the deciding factor for you? He said, it's Grambling. It's the history and the tradition involved with Grambling. And Duffy rips off a nice run there as he picks up about 5-6 yards on the carry. Nico Duffy.
Yeah, Norrie Johnson with the tackle there. Tigers defense still playing pretty aggressive. And again, the Braves pick up the pace here.
2nd and about 4 now coming up for the Braves. Lawrence is going to keep it. Gets a good block in front, and he puts his head down and picks up what he can. Matthews there again for the defense. Lewis Matthews, how many times have we called that name? Big number 57.
Yeah, he had 8 tackles at the half, and he's still rolling. But back to Jackson and what he's building here. I mean, he made some quick changes and locker rooms. He said, I want these guys to understand there's a difference here. It can't look like it used to look.
Nico Duffy with a spin move. Could have been a loss in the backfield. Instead, he spins forward and picks up a nice gain. Really sweet move in the backfield to get away from Joshua Reed.
Yeah, you're right. Planted that foot, got something out of nothing.
Yeah, Reed had him dead to rights, and he kind of got a little bit out of that one. Nico Duffy, what a good guy. Last year he was a star running back, and this year accepted the backup role. Says a lot about him. Lawrence with a long pass has a man. That's Juan Anthony, and a big pickup for the Braves.
What a tough catch by Juan Anthony. I mean, he knew he was going to get hit, and he got smoked when he caught it. But he hung on to that ball. Look at that, concentrate. He could see him coming out of the corner of his eyes. He knew he was going to get tattooed, but yet he held on to the ball.
So this time they go to Howard on the carry, and Howard takes it inside the 10. Great pass, great catch, but there was a little bit, there were 2 receivers standing right there, and that just can't be the way that was drawn up. But give Juan Anthony a lot of credit, because there may have been another defensive player there that shouldn't have been there.
It certainly has. I don't think it's the way you draw it up. Let me put 2 defenders by the same receivers. I don't think that's the way it works. But when it works, you go, no, yeah.
Just a great catch by Juan Anthony, though. He's been one of the top receivers this year for the Braves. And they go inside to Howard, and he doesn't get far because Joshua Reed is right there to crack down on him.
Telling you, the Braves, I think they're missing their right off tackles is where there's a lot more room than inside. The Tigers have basically said we own between the tackles. But I think just off that tackle's outside, you don't run a sweep, but you run a little angle right off that tackle's butt. I think there's room there because the ends and linebackers are really coming inside.
Best drive of the day so far for Alcorn State. Big 3rd down coming up now. 3rd and 5 with the ball inside the 10. Lawrence throws underneath, has Anthony. Anthony trying to spin, and a good tackle there as he tried to spin away from Donald Lee, but couldn't quite make it.
Yeah, he was trying to back himself out of there, wound up, they just sat him down.
So he's just short. He's just shy of that 1st down. Great tackle by Donald Lee. So that's going to set up a 4th and short.
Yeah, how big was that? That's when you wish you'd have just dove forward.
Clock ticking down on the 3rd quarter. We're at 30 seconds and counting. And now we have a whistle on the field.
Yeah, I think they were about to run out of time, and they called the timeout.
So Alcorn State will use the timeout as Trey Lawrence comes over to the sideline. Going to talk it over with Fred McNair and staff. Elliot Rathman and Jason Phillips, the co-offensive coordinators for Alcorn State. Co-defensive coordinators are Cedric Thomas and Jonathan Bradley. This is a big play because they want to get something on the board. You get a touchdown here. You got a whole quarter left. I mean, Fred is McNair, Coach McNair, trying to keep his team. Hey, look, we could still make something happen. He's trying to keep the confidence up. So that makes this a really big play.
You know what I find funny? A lot of people, when you hear them talk about, he's not emotional enough on the sidelines. I want to, you know, when you've got that coach that just has a steady pace to him, that feeds on your program, right? When they get irate, when things get bad and they kind of lose their cool, your team will do that. And again, look, there's no question he's not happy about the result and what's happened so far in this game. But even in the worst of these mistakes, you haven't seen him throw headsets. You've seen him keep his calm and just work on what can we do now? What can we do now? And that's when you can find some success.
4th and 1 coming up for the Braves. Lawrence is going to sprint out to his right, fires in the end zone, and it's a touchdown for Alcorn State. Tavarius Griffin on the catch, the big 6'3", 215-pound tight end.
Well, what a call, right? I mean, that is some real confidence and just a gutsy call because, you know, you've had some trouble connecting. You haven't been as accurate all game long, and you call that in the goal line on the 4th and 1. You want to get points out of this thing. That was strong.
Big touchdown for the Braves, and now we'll have Noah Keone out to attempt the extra point. Nice snap, nice hole, and he hooked it. He hooked it left. Oh my goodness.
Wow.
Keone had the punt blocked earlier in this game, and then he got roughed, so he hasn't had the best of days as a kicker.
Nah, special teams has really, again, from the outset of this game, put the Braves behind the 8 ball here. But again, Braves fans, you just focus on the fact your team went out there in this 3rd quarter, got themselves a good drive, finished it with a touchdown. You know what I mean? If that extra point means something towards the end, you could get a 2-point conversion and go after something. So, of course, that doesn't stop. You know, the dancing starts right there, right? We scored. It's on.
You know, the running has been good all day. We know Howard leads the conference definitely in rushing, but on that drive, Lawrence threw the football really well. He threw some darts around there.
He did. I mean, you started to see something, you know, again, they've only had 2 drives really that they've had rhythm, and that one they sure did. And again, the Tigers made them earn it too. They're still flying to the ball. They're still playing with great energy. And again, a big part of this game was the Tigers haven't played 4 quarters of football. Well, basically now you can say they played 3 quarters of football, of really good football. Now they just got to close it out in that 4th quarter.
Kick goes deep. It is going to be fielded by Bean at about the, and Bean slips a tackle. And he tries to get around the outside. Excuse me, that is number 19 down the sideline. That's Antonio Jones. Got to check that because it looked like 15 for just a second, but that is Antonio Jones with a big return for the Tigers. But we do have a flag on the field.
And again, while the Braves have had unspecial moments on special teams, the Tigers have been all special on special teams. Let's see what that flag looks like here in a little bit.
Well, this is just the way you draw it up, you know, because a lot of times you'll have an open week and your team comes back flat from not playing, a little rusty and flat. It looks like Grambling, and we've talked about this a little earlier, got a lot done in that 1 week off.
Well, you know, especially look, at the end of the day, they came into this game 1-6, 0-4 in SWAC, right? So a lot of their goals they started for the season weren't there. right? So that's really, really frustrating. You head into an off season. So the Tigers will get an extra 15 yards tacked onto this for personal foul face mask. But to where I was going here is that, you know, they obviously did the homework, and they said we need to get better, and that means no one checked out, right? No one checked out. They said, how do we get better, coach? They looked at themselves, and then they did something about it.
Julian Calvez trying to get his team out as the whistle blows to start play, and he hands it off. And it goes to Washington. It goes around the outside, still on his feet. Guy has great balance. And we're coming to the end of the third quarter as we tick down on the final seconds after the carry right there by Maurice Washington. As you can see, Alcorn State 3-4 on the year, but they just got a touchdown as they try to get back into this game with the GSU Tigers. Tigers, though, still out in front, 28-6. We'll be back in a minute with fourth quarter action. Welcome back, everyone. Tigers with the lead, 28-6, and the football as we start the fourth quarter. Pass from Calvez is complete to Bean. So they are still attacking and trying to keep the rhythm going on offense.
And I think this is important for Grambling, period, right? Coming in, they've had a hard time playing more than 2 quarters of football in a game. And for this, they played 3 great quarters of football. They want to cap it off with 4 good quarters of football this last quarter. And that's big for their program, big for when they look back and say, see, this is what the work we put in, and here's the outcome. It's huge for this program.
7 yards on that pass, and they come right back with a run, and now the back is going to reverse field and has a lot of room out there, and he's into the end zone for a touchdown for the Tigers. That is Floyd Chalk. Hasn't got a lot of carries tonight, but made a big play that time, reversing his field and taking it in for another Grambling touchdown.
Wow, I mean, that was going one way, and he said nope right from the beginning and cut it back. Again, just good vision and a feel, right? He had a feel that backside was open. The Braves over pursuing, and he just cut it back and hit that burner.
Floyd Chalk is 5'9", 185-pound freshman from Mission Hills, California. He's a part of that busy backfield as Urban adds the extra point, but there was a flag down right before he kicked it.
Yeah, I think the Tigers have done everything they really wanted to have done today, and I think where their growth's going to be is through Julian Calvez as well. I mean, he's a young guy. He's a freshman, 6'3", 190, right? Got a lot to grow. And the thing he's going to be growing on is touch with the football, right? A little bit more putting it in place for his receivers to do something with it. But, man, he's certainly a good leader. And you mentioned earlier, sometimes you just have that guy people gravitate to, right? Even though the numbers may not be what he wants, but that everyone believes in. When people believe in you, it changes the whole environment.
Well, you heard this week when we asked Coach Hugh Jackson about that. He just said, he's our quarterback. And I said, I think I brought it up. I said, Coach, I know you played like 3 quarterbacks this year. And he goes, no, Calvez is our quarterback. Yeah. And he liked about a lot of his talent. He says he has tremendous talent. He loves his arm. He just thinks he can make all the throws. And we've seen a little bit of that today.
Yeah, but again, we've seen he's got a good arm. He just tries to place it a little bit. Looks like, again, he's thinking the mechanics. And again, he's just a freshman. You let that grow and you let him keep growing and get confidence. And again, a game like today, they haven't had this type of game. And again, they're well off to being able to show 4 quarters of really good football. And this is the start of when, you'll look back as a program and say this is when we started buying in to Coach Jackson.
And when you have a running game like Grambling has, it really helps you develop your passing game because one feeds off the other.
Sure.
And that's what's happening today as Garrett Urban gets set to kick it away. sails it through the end zone. So Alcorn State will start 1st and 10 from the 25-yard line.
It's kind of a low bullet kick, wasn't it?
We're going to take a timeout now as we see the score on your scoreboard. Grambling, all Grambling today, they lead the Braves from Alcorn State 35-6. We'll be back after these messages.
That's what I like.
That's head coach Hugh Jackson right there of the Grambling State Tigers. A lot of you remember him from his days with the Cleveland Browns. Says he wants to build this program up from the foundation up. Has 40 freshman players on this team, and they're playing great today as we go back to Alcorn State on the attack with the football. That is Javante Leatherwood. And, of course, Coach Fred McNair said he wanted to see this young man today. He was very high on him, too. And he had a nice run there. And they go back to Leatherwood again. And he's showing some of that physical play right there.
Yeah, when he talked about building, he talked about rebuilding it back to what the program was. He feels like the honor is taking it back to where Eddie Robinson had it. You know, that legend. He's very conscious of making sure they walk in that museum, take a look at what was done, what that G means. And so it's not like he wants to build something new. He just wants it to re-honor what was been built prior to him getting there.
Yeah, a lot of tradition and history at Grambling as Leatherwood. 4 consecutive carries, and he picks up another first down for the Braves. So this guy, he listed as 5'11", about 195. He's a junior out of Tuscaloosa. Coach said he's a good addition to the backfield. In fact, Fred McNair went on to say, I've never seen that guy knock backwards, as we have another flag on the play.
I'm not sure what it was.
They plan to use Leatherwood today in short yardage situations. They just really haven't had much of an opportunity to get him in until now. So Lawrence with the pass has a man wide open. It's Juan Anthony. That's 15 yards and a first down for Alcorn State.
Juan Anthony's still rolling. And again, the Tigers are playing way off, and they're saying, look, we'll give you that kind of stuff all day long. But he's still playing extremely hard.
Yeah, he's a solid receiver, man. Really solid. Look at Leatherwood bouncing off a would-be tackler, spinning inside. He's going to pick up about 2 or 3 more.
Yeah, if there's young running backs looking at how do you run the ball, watch him. His legs churn, just keeps churning as he turns, makes that turn, keeps moving.
Braves again will pass it this time. The throw is high. He was trying to hit his big tight end Griffin over the middle, but he had to climb the stairs and could not come down with the catch.
And again, that was just a missed throw. I mean, he had time. Look, time in the pocket, was able to even put his leg forward. Just threw more of a bullet when he should have just kind of laid it in there a little bit. Again, that's easy to say. But again, when he looks at it, he'll be like, all right, I didn't put more touch on that one.
Howard returns in the backfield for the Braves. Lawrence, you can kind of see his confidence growing as this game goes on. I mean, he came on in, kind of really gotten into the flow here the last couple of times they've had the football. So Trey Lawrence on 3rd down, 3rd and 7, has a nice pocket, fires for the end zone, and he might have just led that a little too far to the inside. That ball comes over on the outside. It's a touchdown.
No doubt. Kevin Thomas. Watch this guy. You talk about ball hawks or people that smell the ball. He comes over from his safety position and just beeline towards the ball. But that was, if he wouldn't have gotten there, that would have been a touchdown.
Yeah, it's just that he had a short touchdown. He wouldn't have been able to get there. The ball went to the outside.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's it's going to bring up a 4th and 7 now. A big down for the Braves. They're still fighting hard, like you said a minute ago. They want to put as much on the board as they can. Trey Lawrence has played the entire second half. Under pressure, slips down. He fell down before the rush could get there, and then they came on to finish him off. I guess Anderson will be credited with the sack. But he went down in a hurry, man. We've seen 3 or 4 players slip today on the field. So you saw Sundiata Anderson coming off after that big play. 35-6. Grambling out front. We'll be right back.
And the Bengals clash with Chubb and the Browns.
SWAC Football on ESPN is presented by Home Depot, proud sponsor of the SWAC. Academy Sports and Outdoors, official sporting goods and outdoor retailer of the SWAC. And by Nike, proud sponsor of the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Grambling with the football, going back to the running attack. After Alcorn could not convert on the 4th down attempt. We're reaching the 11:27 mark in this game. And here come the Tigers again with more run. This time Floyd Chalk, and there's a flag that goes down right after Chalk went down. As you see, Chalk coming over to the sideline.
Trying to see what that flag was about. Wasn't quite sure.
Y.N. Myers and company trying to get it straight right now.
Looks like Hawkins came in at quarterback as well for the Tigers.
Holding on the offense, face mask on the defense. So
equals nothing.
Yes. All that energy for nothing. So they'll replay the down with 11:05 to go in this ball game.
It equals never happened.
Number 8, Corterius Hawkins in at quarterback. He's a 6-foot, 185-pound junior from Bastrop, Louisiana. Transferred in from Jones College. He's got a lot of playing time this year. He's already thrown for 859 yards. 6 touchdowns with 4 interceptions. Looking to throw it again. This time he tries to run out of the pocket. Throws it downfield, and he's going to just throw that one away to the sideline.
Probably a smart choice there.
Well, that was a 3rd down play there, so he didn't really have a chance to convert. And the Tigers will have to punt the football back to Alcorn State. Also a pretty good runner when he's in the ball game.
I thought he was going to bust out right there, but I really thought.
Number 10, Manny Jones, going back to return the kick for the Braves. We've seen a lot of Jimmy Isles today.
Probably more than he wanted to be seen, maybe.
Kick is called, fair catch is called for and made by Jones.
Yeah, he had one shank punt earlier, and ever since then
he's done a great job.
Pretty good after that.
We saw as we started the 3rd quarter, he was averaging 42 yards a kick, and he really hasn't done anything to hurt that average to this point.
No, and he's placed a couple. And really, he should have had one other one placed inside the 1 or 2 yard line that they kind of missed. So,
you know, Coach Fred McNair told us that Grambling is just a tough place to play. It's a tough environment, and today was high school day. So they had the kids from all the area high schools come in. They're on campus all day long. They go around, they check out all the classrooms, they talk to some of the professors and stuff, and they kind of get an idea of whatever they want to major in, whether or not, you know, it fits the bill. So it's a great day. You know, they get really excited about it, and the kids really like it, and they wrap up the day with a football game.
Look at Leatherwood here. He just keeps churning, moving those legs.
There he goes again. He came in here last possession, and he was a man on a mission, and he's picking right up where he left off.
You know, that's what, you know, in a game like this as a coach, you're aggravated. You see what's going on. but you got a player that comes out there and shows so much heart. That gives you something. Quite frankly, you know, when that game's over, you're able to go look in there and say, you know, you get stuff like, if anybody played like Leatherwood, we'd have won this game, right? Everybody plays with the heart of Leatherwood, we'd be good, right? So it's a way to grab something and show inspiration and to show the no-quit attitude. Wow, that was a slam by Matthews, man.
He's had a great game, and that was, once again, Leatherwood underneath making that catch.
Watch this. It's like a pile driver. Watch this, Butch. Accelerates through the player.
That's textbook, man. That's the way you draw it up right there. Great tackle by Matthews.
That's linebacker U right there.
Just a great job. He's had a tremendous game. Lewis Matthews for the Grambling Tigers came in as their leading tackler, but more than that, he's been the emotional leader that we've seen on that defense today.
Well, you know, there have been so much changes on how to tackle and all these kind of targeting and all these things that I think are very, quite frankly, unfair to the defender when you're traveling, the speed you're traveling and how you're supposed to watch. But that kind of tackling, when you drive through someone and you just, you know, coaches always talk about that, lower your hips and drive through. Wow, 2 players from the Braves injured here.
That's tough. Looks like Juan Anthony's one of them. Of course, they depend on that guy. And number 2, Malik Rogers is the other guy. Rogers is the one being helped off over to the bench.
Yeah.
And now
Juan's not in good
we
shape
see
either.
Juan Anthony being helped off the field. So that is not good news for Alcorn State.
Well, it looks like his right ankle is really soft on. So hope he's okay. Because, again, you don't want to see that.
Flag now. There's movement up front. It's a matter who went first. You see Y.M. Myers there trying to get the final word. Wesley Green, the guilty party, jumped offside right there for the Grambling Tigers. Or did he say 72? I think he said 72, which would be Jacoby Scott. I'm sorry about that, Wesley. Don't want to do that.
I think I hear his mom calling him.
Yeah, don't do that. Trey Lawrence hands it this time to Howard, and look at the, guess who's there first? Can you guess? Lewis Matthews again with another tackle. He's had a huge game for the Grambling defense.
Look at him. He has got his swagger on. And I'm surprised actually he's still in there at this point.
Number 57 got to rest his legs during the open week. Came out with a little energy today.
Well, he's out there telling him, don't jump, man. He walked up forward and said, don't jump.
Yeah, I said Jimmy Owls, he's dropped down his average a little bit. He's now 39 yards a kick here in the second half. Lawrence to throw it. Throws down and the pass is out of bounds. The defensive back fell down on the play.
I think he was throwing to a spot, and that spot was not matched with the receiver and the quarterback.
Montario Hunt was the receiver down in the area. Trent Henry was the defensive back, but he actually fell down. So a good pass might have led to a touchdown on that play.
True.
Jarvion Howard will be the leading rusher today for Grambling. He's going to finish with 73 yards. Excuse me, for Alcorn. I said Grambling, I meant Alcorn. And there's the handoff. And Alcorn takes it all the way down to the 5. That is Nico Duffy. But Jarvion Howard, the leading rusher in the SWAC, 21 carries today for 73 yards. And there you see Nico Duffy ripping off a big run. And they give it to Duffy again. And he's going to be dropped. Might have gotten to the 4.
And again, those Braves just keep battling. And again, the Tigers getting to play a few different people in their defensive line. See some new guys coming out in there. Of course, Matthews, apparently he refuses to leave the field.
And dude, looks like Ray Lewis today. Why would he want to leave?
Yeah, no, I'm having a field day, Coach. This is a good one. I want to enjoy every part of this.
He's having a great game. Leatherwood showing some power inside. Might have gotten down to the 3.
Well, Leatherwood does run tough.
Good push by that offensive line. Will Reddy in there.
He's just 5'11", 190. He runs more like a 5'11", like 220, right? I mean, he just, how he keeps churning and moving the piles, just seems like he'd weigh another 10 to 15 pounds.
We have someone else shaking up on the field as Thomas heads to the sideline. So this is not what you want to see. We just saw 2 Braves go to the sideline, and now you see one of the Grambling Tigers, Thomas.
Yeah, Blake Thomas stepping out. And again, you just want to, at this point of the game, you just want to get through it now. Both sides, right? You just want to get through it, let the time go out and finish. For the Braves, yes, they want to finish closing with scores. But for the Tigers, they just want to get out healthier now and carry that into their next game.
Blake Thomas, 6'3", 245. This time a keeper by Lawrence, but he's going to be dropped by Anderson in the backfield. Sundiata Anderson with another sack.
He's another one that's had a pretty good game, Sundiata Anderson.
Yeah, he just showed that speed, quickness.
Speed on the backside. He just came. We talked about him earlier. He's got some bend to him, right? He flexes around those tackles, uses his speed to close, and right there, backside guy, he's the guy that you got to block. You just can't let him run. He showed he can close.
Quite a game for the Tigers. If you missed the beginning of the show, we talked about how Grambling started the season with 6 consecutive road games. Since then, this is their second home game. Lawrence for the end zone, and it's over everybody's head. Second consecutive home game, and now they're 6 minutes away from a victory. And the first SWAC victory of the year for Hugh Jackson. So we're going to pause for another timeout as you see the players jogging to the sideline. 35-6, Grambling in control with 6:04 to go. Welcome back, everyone. Butch Alcindor along with Jorge Vargas. That is Coach Fred McNair on the sideline for Alcorn State. As you can see, his Braves are trailing into this ball game as Grambling takes over the football. They're going to pass it on first down, and it's a completed pass. And it goes to number 7. That is Faison Wilson, who hauled it in. A nice catch by Faison.
And right on the money. Great throw right there.
Nice pass from Hawkins. Got a little zip on that when he comes back. He's going to pass it again, but it's going to be knocked down this time. Someone got the hands up.
Yeah, Tigers still in attack mode. And again, you know, they want the clock to roll out, but they also want to get Hawkins a little bit of his, you know, groove on. Make sure you got all cylinders of the players in your team, backups, etc., giving them opportunities to make plays.
Hey, that's college football today. We do what we do.
Yep.
And no matter what's going on, that's just what it is. We just want to get better at what we do. Corterius Hawkins in at quarterback now for the Tigers, fires a strike to Wilson again, and Wilson's going to pick up a first down for GSU. Gain of about 14 on the play. Clock ticks down. We have about 5:21 left in this ball game.
And again, I think right now that sidelines is slowing them down. And how you do that is you just don't give them the play for a little bit. And you slow them down to let that clock tick. One thing you don't want to do is give them it too slow, and then you have your quarterback rushing.
Handoff inside. It's Chalk. He had a touchdown earlier today.
He's had some good runs. Again, I think from a Tigers standpoint, if you're a Tigers fan, this is about as complete a game as you can play. Special teams playing really well. Offense, defense, doing their thing. It's been a really full team effort today.
You know, a couple of days ago, there was a threat of some weather moving in, but it didn't materialize. Never happened. Had a good day for football. A little cloudy, but that's about it.
Perfect temperature, especially for football games.
Oh, beautiful pass and a great catch. How about Hawkins throwing that one over the middle, and Wilson coming up with 3 catches here on the last 3 passes.
I'll be honest, I thought he was just throwing that away. When that happened, I didn't think he was going to hit Wilson, but perfectly in stride. And again, that was great defensive coverage. You can't do it any better than that. Napoleon Collier with the coverage, but a great pass will beat great coverage.
He stuck it on him. That's what they tell you to do. Hit him in the numbers.
Yeah.
3rd and 5 now for the Tigers. 3:36 and ticking. Hawkins, and it's almost intercepted. That would have been a great interception. Number 36 got his hands on it. And that is Gonzalez. Nice play by Charles Gonzalez, number 36.
Yeah, 6'3", 250 from Midland, Cisco Community College. Getting in there, getting his hands on the ball. And again, if you're a defensive lineman and you get to touch the ball, that's a cool thing.
That almost was a very acrobatic interception there. I mean, he just about had two hands on it.
Yeah, no, he did. But again, that's why he plays D lineman and not receiver, right?
Manny Jones back to run back the kick for the Braves. Nice snap, good kick. Jones chases it down inside the 10. Now he turns on the speed, tries to reverse his speed, and now he's got nowhere to go. Manny Jones.
Yeah, I'm surprised there wasn't a flag there for blocking in the back. You can see, I believe, that's Myron Stewart, I believe. Or J.R. Waters, I'm not sure. He got clipped in the back, but he got up and walked off the field.
Yeah, good news there when he walks off the field. And as you can see, Grambling in complete control here with 3:16 to go. 35-6, Tigers out front.
It's a beautiful time for basketball.
Welcome back, everyone. 35-6. You can see the Grambling State Tigers out in front as we close down on the end of this one. Time now to check in on our player of the game. And this was such a tough decision, man. Our player of the game tonight is presented by Pepsi Zero Sugar, the official partner of the Southwestern Athletic Conference. And it was such a tough decision, we decided to go with the whole defense. How about the entire defense? They created turnovers, they had sacks, they had big hits, and none were better than Lewis Matthews. And that guy.
Yeah,
Myron Stewart.
How about that pick six? Everybody wants one of those, and everybody got into the action there. No question about it, that defense, and they played incredible. Lewis Matthews was fantastic. Myron Stewart with that pick six. And Sundiata Anderson, got to give him a little love as well. But really, just a collective group, a lot of team tackling. They played extremely well throughout the game. So that defense really just held things together. But you have to also, I mean, again, this is a complete game for the Tigers. And their offense, when given the opportunity, they didn't just get field goals, they got touchdowns. So that's huge. If Coach Jackson's giving game balls, I have no idea how many balls they're going to have to buy.
They better call Wilson or somebody and get some of those things delivered. Sundiata Anderson had a couple of sacks. I mean, you could go down the list. Lewis Matthews, how many tackles did he? I mean, he had a just
plethora.
Yeah,
last count of the
he was just all over the field. You know, I'm sure he's in double digits with the tackles. And, I mean, it just the Grambling family here, you know, Grambling Nation is going to be really happy after this one to see this win. The Tigers came in 1-6. You know, nobody thought much about it, and he came out after that bye week, after the off week, and really came out today. And they were very opportunistic. And maybe the turnovers kind of set the tone, a fumble on the opening kickoff.
Yeah, it did. And again, on the Braves side, we talked a lot about how much this means for Grambling. And again, you know, for the Braves side, you just got to look. Sometimes you just get snake bit, right? I mean, you just got to look at it that way and say, this just wasn't our day. We had some bad things happen, and things kind of snowballed out of control. The one thing I'll say is these guys never stop hitting hard, never stop working. They had some moments where they got that offense a little bit rolling on a roll, and then they just have a mistake that would stop it. But again, that's a good football team. Just didn't have it today.
And I really understand now why Coach Fred McNair loves Javonte Leatherwood so much. I mean, this kid is fun to watch. Like you said, he's still banging.
No, he's kind of putting on the thing. Hey, well, I don't care how good the other back is. I want to play more.
We're down to 115, and he just like, you have to love that type of attitude. As the clock continues to tick down, we saw Lawrence go the whole second half. Trey Lawrence in at quarterback. Turns, gives to Leatherwood again, and the first guy never tackles him. And like Coach McNair said, he's never seen him get knocked backwards.
We haven't either, not so far.
Hasn't happened. Just a great team effort.
Running out of clock now.
In case you missed it, Alcorn State has not won at Grambling since 2006, and of course they will not win this trip in. As we tick down to the final 25 seconds in this ball game.
Yeah, that was a good shot earlier, Lewis Matthews. Seeing how tough that guy is and what a performance he put on today.
Final 10 seconds now as we come down to 10.
They're not going to make him put another snap on, I guess.
Just an outstanding effort today by the Grambling Tigers at home, coming in here with a big win over Alcorn State. It's just an look at, there comes the Gatorade. Hugh Jackson's first SWAC victory, and the players got him with the Gatorade.
Yeah, I don't think you saw that one coming.
And that's nice to see. Look at that.
Yeah, and again, admiration from both coaches, and again, Coach Fred McNair making sure he give him some love and respect. And again, the respect level of these SWAC coaches, I just think, is absolutely fascinating. And again, it is, you're right, that big SWAC first win, that kind of sets that mark of that's how you start rebuilding. You got to start somewhere, and win number one in the SWAC is certainly really big for him. And again, lots of congratulations. And this was a very clean, well-fought game. No big spats going on, just some good hitting on both sides of the football.
Once again, the Tigers defense, our Pepsi Zero Sugar player of the game. And that's, in this case, it's players of the game, brought to you by Pepsi Zero Sugar. There you see Noah Bean, the big receiver. And how about Matthews right there? Lewis Matthews, who had the sensational game.
Yeah, he was incredible. Just watching him flow to the ball. And again, when you're talking about linebackers and how you want them to play, his tackling in open field and just strong tackles and leading that defense and just being an inspirational guy. He's certainly done that. Just a great job. And again, we mentioned Myron Stewart. He was all around the ball, and again, he had the pick six as well. That was special. And Sundiata Anderson, guy coming off the edge, number 9, he played fantastic as well. So great job by Grambling. They got everything they wanted out of this game. And again, for the Braves, just wasn't their day. Didn't have it. But it certainly was a good performance by Grambling, and it's what they were trying to do, is get things back together.
And that young man right there, Mr. Anderson, I said he had 2+ sacks, did a great job. And we mentioned the defense being the players of the game. We could have singled out a lot more people than that on defense. I mean, they did just an outstanding job. You like to mention Myron Stewart. I mean, just so many players. Good win on high school day for Hugh Jackson and the Grambling Tigers. So for Jorge Vargas, our producer Erica, I am Butch Alcindor saying so long from Grambling, where the final score is 35-6, G-Men on top. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN. Good night, everyone.
Take me up into the stratosphere. Lift. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5.
Did you think you could relax? That you'd seen everything there was to see? Or have you realized you can't look away and that the game has never been better? That is hockey.